Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi Vision Presents Fandom Access for January 12th, where tonight we'll be deep diving into the episode of From Book 73 Books, which is episode 106. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted getting everything fixed here. Let me bring Scarlet in. There you go. And there's Julie. Right on time. Hey, guys.
Hey, Jamie. Hey, Scarlet.
I'm just trying to, I have like 20 windows open and I'm getting confused what I have open. I'm trying to move them around here. There we go.
I get confused why my iPad is on full volume and all of a sudden it decides to be no volume.
Wow, that's an iPad for you.
Yeah,
but,
pretty much.
Yeah, but hi everybody. Thanks for coming. We already have a few people I see that are joined in the chat. Before I forget, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. You can check out our other From deep dives and interviews. There's a playlist I created before that's for all the From stuff, but also all our other interviews under the videos tag and all our live streams under the live tag. And make sure you check out Julie's show as well, which is in the description of the video. And then just a reminder that next Saturday, now we still have our show on Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, like we always do with Karen and AJ and me. But on Saturday, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will have the first episode of our Severance breakdown that Karen and I are doing. And there will be a watch party beforehand in the Discord, like right before that, so probably like 8 o'clock. But our normal From watch party will be moved to Sunday since we can't do really both in one day. We'll just do them right before the various live streams. So anyway, that's coming. Our normal From show, of course, is Sunday, which is now. And I know you guys have a Severance live stream coming as well. So that's all coming as the new season starts. So. All righty, let me get my, whoa. Okay, my screen just went blank. What?
Oh, no.
I don't know if my computer's locked up or the screen just, I don't know. Everything's black. I can't see anything. There, it came back. I don't know.
Okay, on my end, I can see everything, so.
Yeah, no, it was definitely something on my computer. Sorry about that. I'm like, what is happening? But, yeah. All right. Well, let's, I guess, get into it. Julie, do you have the pictures? I was going to put the pictures on the screen, but I don't have the link.
I don't know. She's fetching them.
Oh, she went to get them. Okay. Sorry. Well,
she's grabbing some water.
Okay. Yeah. We'll make sure she gets them. I'm going to post the Discord link in the chat too, as well. So you guys can make sure you join that for our watch parties. We just got done the one for this episode. All right. Well, I guess we can start where we're waiting. I just was going to open the photos, but well, the very first thing obviously is Nathan's funeral and Khatri talking about chaos and fate. And what do you think about, Scarlet, about that whole conversation? Because I think that's, we talk a lot about if people are fated to be there and about, are they, been reincarnated how many times and brought back. And that's why I think that conversation is pretty important. And this is way back, in season 1. So I don't know that we didn't necessarily think that then, but I don't know. What do you think about it?
Well, the first time I watched it, I had a kind of a funny thought because he said he'd come into the world terrified and crying. And then I thought about all those things they do in TV shows where the doctor raises the baby up and smacks it on the butt.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why the baby would be crying, not because it has like existential terror, like baked within it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I always thought the priest's speech there was a little bit like, to me, but I always thought this priest was kind of sus anyway.
Yeah. You don't think that now, do you? Or do you still think that?
No, I've kind of come more to terms with what he's saying, which of chaos and fate. So I almost feel like it's, when I think of chaos and fate, I almost think of like Colony House being chaos and fate being the town, I guess.
Oh, that's interesting. There, I'm just doing that to make it bigger. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. Yeah, because it's. I mean, there's a lot of, I think, dichotomy in this show to begin with, but
Hmm.
yeah, splitting the town between the two groups. I hadn't really thought about it that way. You're right, because the town. You said the town. You think the town's fate. Is that what you said? Do you think Colony House is chaos?
Yeah, pretty
Okay,
much.
I was gonna say I said it the other way. Yeah,
But,
yeah. I
but I
hadn't thought
feel like
about.
chaos in a good way, though.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I mean, that's just even from their lifestyle. Let me bring Julie back in. There you
Yeah.
go. Hello. Thank you for for giving me the photos. I was gonna say that's. I think that's true though of just kind of their life philosophies though. True too, in the
Mm.
sense that Colony House is like anything goes because they're living for the now. So
Hmm.
I don't know. What do you think, Julie? I don't know if you heard the question. I was talking about Cautry's conversation, or well, his sermon about chaos and fate.
I think it has a lot of meaning for the show overall. Like, I think that it represents the way he's describing people, the way that they wind up in there and they don't know where they are. They have a million questions. They're terrified. He's comparing it to life, like a baby being born, and like human beings have the same kind of questions about life, all these existential questions that the people in From. So I think it's interesting. I think it kind of reflects maybe that the creators of the show, like John Griffin, he sees this show as kind of like a microcosm of life. It's like a metaphor for life, the way that they wind up there, and they have so many questions about how they got there. What does it all mean? What is my purpose? And he talks about purpose in that speech too. And obviously, it's that duality between chaos and faith that applies to actual life. So yeah, really interesting sermon. I thought that was like packed with meaning.
Yeah. I was seeing here. He says too about, wait, I have the quote here somewhere. Oh, you were saying about purpose. That's what I was gonna say. He does say like something to, I think he says it to Tabby after that they get to the town and then now they found purpose. I don't know if that was in the sermon or he said it to her, but like that they found purpose after being there. And I think so many of them, their lives have changed so much now that they're there. If you think back to, or I should say, think forward to, since we haven't seen it yet in the rewatch. But I remember even when Ethan had that conversation about how they were all like together in that for a while when everybody was scared. Um, so in certain ways, I think I don't want to say change your life for the better. Obviously, overall, it hasn't changed people's lives for the better, but I think there's certain times when they're being more the people they should be, their authentic selves type of thing. Um, but I mean, the other thing is, like I said before, we have said before about are there certain people that were fated to be here and other people that were just sort of along for the ride. I mean, we know Tabitha and Jade obviously had to be there. And whether their families were part of that or just showed up, it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah. But hi, everybody. I'm looking through. My mouse keeps locking up. Looking through the chat. See, Dorn by Charisse was there from the beginning. Whoa, what did I click on? Sorry, guys, I'm slow today. And Turan saying something about April Fool's alternate ending theory. I'm not sure what that's about, but I sure hope that the show overall isn't an April Fool's joke. Yeah.
No, that could be a good ending.
I don't know. I think we'd all be a little
April Fools.
Yeah, April Fools, you're not really stuck here. Whoop, Julie disappeared again. She must be.
Oh, it's like that April Fool's Day movie. You ever see that horror movie?
Uh, is that not a time loop one or no?
No, it's this one where they have somebody killing people, and at the end, it's a April Fool's Day prank. On one of the girls.
Yeah, that better not be the case. It's better actually.
That'd be elaborate. It's like an April Fool's Day prank that Toby pulled on Jade.
Oh my god.
That would be
kind of like the movie The Game. If you ever saw the movie The Game.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
Oh my
god.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing that things aren't real. Well, I just hope everything that's happening is actually happening for them. Regardless of anything else.
I don't think that the showrunners would, spend so much time on all of this deep character development, and like they've even said for them that the main focus for them that they care about is not really the mystery, but like the character, how the characters respond to trauma, and so if all of this is revealed to just be fake at the end, it would cheapen that. So I hope
Yeah.
not. Like it's like surprise, it really was all Toby's prank after all.
That would
Jade was right.
yeah. I was going to say though, but I think a lot of this, going back to what about his sermon though, I think a lot of the show though, and you talk about it's true of life too though, is really them trying to understand obviously what's going on and figure out this mystery. Kind of connects with all of it. Let's see, and then he is. Let me go back here. I need to have like I think 2 windows of these so I can see what it is I'm going to click on, because this is after.
Jamie, I actually screwed up when I took these screenshots. So if you scroll down a bit more, it starts again from the beginning. If you just scroll down, because I missed a few things. So yeah, okay. So now the rest of them are in chronological order from here to the end. The beginning I screwed up. So this is the stuff that we were seeing on screen when Khatri was giving his sermon. Jade is one of the things. So the rest of them are all in chronological order, just FYI.
It's okay. All right, we'll figure it out. Yeah, Jade's looking at the radio, getting ideas how to fix it, trying to take things from cars. And I know this is also where Tabitha is going through the stuff of the people that used to live in the house. And also somewhere here. What is that? Is that a kite?
Where?
In the background, that plastic thing. What the heck is that?
Oh yeah, I never noticed that
It's
before.
a kite. It's a kite.
Yeah, it looks like a kite.
Yeah, I've made kites like that before in school.
Maybe it's I wonder if maybe it's a reference to the whole electricity in the episode.
Oh yeah, that would
It could be.
Franklin and the kite and the key, yeah.
Yeah.
Getcha.
So yeah. The other thing that's happening while he's talking about it is Julie finding the flowers on the porch, which is a little stalkery and creepy. And I don't know if I should be concerned. She doesn't even even question it. She just picks it up like it's all good, Yeah, that's a little creepy that something's going on. And even Fatima's like, oh, and acts like it's all good.
Yeah, it's like, more, let's go hang clothes. They were so excited about hanging clothes.
Let's go hang clothes. Take their stuff.
Let's not worry about the stalker gift. Let's go.
Let's go get the shirt we want, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Tabby, getting through back to where we were. Okay, so Tabby brings the pages from the Bible to him that he has written out by memory. I find this conversation interesting just from the fact that it's the priest that's the one that is the one that is lying, because he's telling Tabby, oh, we haven't seen Sarah. She's probably dead. And nobody questions it because he's the priest. And I don't know, the fact that he's the one that did it, I'm not sure how to feel about that, because I feel like at this point he was somebody who you sort of trusted. I mean, not that he's necessarily doing it to hurt people, but I don't know. Does that seem weird to you? It kind of sticks out to me as odd that he's the one that's doing it. And
I always thought he was a little sus, but
yeah,
I think I'm contrary, because the whole thing in the beginning when he was talking about Frank Pratt and he had to go in the box and everything, was like, is that something a priest would really say?
That's true. Yeah. Well, it changed once they're in the town, I guess. So
yeah.
He also, I wondered if it was important that he's talking about writing from memory, because he talks so much in this episode about the Bible and the books of the Bible. And I think back to how we've been saying, is it possible that some of this is happening in a storybook? And, Ethan's whole thing with explaining story walking and that kind of thing. And I don't know, just made me think about that, like about somebody telling a story again. And does that have anything to do with it? Or is it completely irrelevant? And I'm just like reading too much into it. I don't know. What do you think?
No, that's really interesting. Okay. I like that. No, I was just going to say that's interesting, because he does say, like, it's like maybe we're living a story that's yet to be written, and book 74, or maybe, you never know. There's that theory that this could be like one of Ethan's stories. Somehow he's creating it or something. I personally think it's not, but it's something to think about.
Yeah. Well, I think this episode is a lot about the things that don't make sense in the town, which we'll get to as we get to. I'm trying to go through order here, but he
Did I
does
cut
say.
you off, Scarlett? I felt like I cut
Yes,
Scarlett off.
Sorry,
Was
go
she
ahead,
gonna say-
Scarlett.
Oh, I was just gonna say that this book is really interesting because I think it parallels almost a kid's book. It looks almost like a kid's book, all kind of put together.
Oh, the pages, yeah, it does.
Yeah, and it's just like from scraps that he could find. And I mean, I wonder how much of it he has from memory and if it's correct, but we'll never know.
Because no one would know, right? I mean, he could be totally making it up.
Yeah,
I mean,
because how
some
many
people
people
might
memorize the
know,
whole
but
Bible? I didn't even in Catholic school.
yeah, I'm sure they don't know word for word at any rate, unless they have like a photographic memory where he might. But the thing that I did think was also interesting about this conversation is Tabitha's, asking if they could be dead. And like he says, a lot of people have had this theory before and wondered, but I never really thought about it till I was rewatching this now. But he, says your vehicle crashed, you were alive when you got here. Well, as much as he says it doesn't really matter because you'd be doing the same thing whether you were dead or not. Then he says you can scratch that question off your list. And I kind of wonder if that's was the writer saying to us, no, they're not dead, because we, I mean, we kind of aren't thinking of that now, or at least the majority of people, I think, aren't still thinking they're dead. So I think that kind of answers that.
Right. And now we have confirmation that they said it's not purgatory and it's not a dream. So I think you're right. They were trying to steer people away from that right away. Maybe because this was marketed so heavily as from the creators of Lost, from the executive producers of Lost, and people misinterpreted the ending of Lost and thought they were dead the whole time. So I feel like they probably put this in the show early on to be like, to plant that seed in people's heads. Like, no, they're not dead. They're alive. That's one thing I would say. And the other thing, I just think it's interesting kind of foreshadowing of Tabitha finding out that she was reincarnated too, because she's asking if she's really dead. And in a way, she is dead and alive at the same time. She's asking if they're dead or alive.
Cat. Now that you're going there, I just have to add that.
Yes, because her past selves died. So I find that interesting and ironic.
Yeah,
she could be the cat laying in the sunshine in that book.
She could be. Dean Gray's asking, have you seen the whole show so far? Yeah, we're just doing a rewatch. I assume that was specifically to us about this, but yeah, we're just on our rewatch of episode 6 now. We decided to go back and use all our clues and hopefully find more. At least that's hopefully the point. Just me is saying there's tons of symbolism in this show. Yeah, there's a lot of symbolism through the show. And I'm looking through what David's saying, seeing where the beginning of this is. This is has been an initiation into arcane and occult knowledge, like order out of chaos. Well, that clearly goes back into Khattri's speech at the beginning. His examples are, let's see, slitting throats, ripping out tongues from the roots, burials, rebirth, a quest involving a secret word communicated are all connected to the 3 degrees of Haramabith. And tarot cards have the same quest. I'm assuming this is more of the hero's quest stuff that I never understand half of, but it's interesting that it relates to his speech at the beginning.
And Freemasonry.
Yeah, this is the 3 distinct elements of masonry interlined with symbolical architecture. Yeah, I don't know. I never know about that. I always say I need to, and I just haven't had time. But I'd like to look into a lot of this stuff because I never know half of what he's talking about. It seems interesting and probably is related to From.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dieter, well, I feel stupid again. That's how I feel, Dieter, when I'm reading this. I'm like, I'm trying to read it.
When I used to when I used to live in San Diego, there used to be a festival, a street festival, and the Masons were always there, the Freemasons. I always asked to join, and they said I couldn't join because I was a woman. So I just kind of gave it up.
Oh, I never thought about that. I didn't think about the Freemasons not having women. I never.
Well, you can, if you're related to one, you can join the Order of the Eastern Star, but that's only for people married in or daughters of Masons.
You would think by now they would have changed that people would have complained enough that they would have.
Every year I'd ask them. Every year I get the same reply.
Yeah, that kind of stinks though. You would think, although I don't know. I don't know if the Freemasons are, I don't know. They've got a lot of secrets.
I just joined other groups. So that was that.
That was that.
Ones that would have me.
David says the secret word from was Enkui in the 3rd season, and the quest is still not finished. If it is about a hero's quest, though, I don't think the quest will be finished till the very end of the show, if at all. Because otherwise.
Yeah, I think the quest is going to go to the end.
Yeah, I definitely do. I just hope that whatever it is, they figure something out that's positive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see.
Hopefully, it isn't Ethan by himself or Ethan as a man in yellow,
or everybody dying at the end. Yeah,
or everybody dying at the end. Yeah,
everybody dying at the end. Okay, let's see. I gotta go on to the next part. I'm behind on pictures. Sorry, I'm not good at swiping pictures and talking and reading it all at the same time. Julie, you take so many pictures.
As usual.
It's like a flip book.
No,
it's like a flip book. And it's helpful now too for me because we can't show clips anymore. And it turns out it's not just me. I saw Geek Academy posted a video explaining that MGM has now changed its policy and no one can show clips without getting a copyright claim, even if it's just a few seconds. So I think it's because people abused their freedom so much in season 3 and posted all this crazy stuff, all these spoilers and posting full episodes on YouTube. So now they're just cracking down. So yeah, my little flip book, it kind of helps now. I wish we could show clips.
I saw that too, that video. And yeah, I think people did abuse it. I wonder though if eventually they'll go out. I hope they don't, but eventually go after like pictures and things. I don't know. I mean, I think if you're only using a couple seconds, I think that is editorial use and you should be allowed to.
Yeah.
I'm just paranoid now because I've had 2 live streams blocked for From and one for Severance blocked. And so I'm afraid to use anything. And poor Igor from Geek Academy, I mean, he had this amazing video with many, many views. It was like 150,000 views, I think, or something like that. And that got blocked. And that was a lot of work he put into it. So now I'm afraid to use any clips.
And the thing is, that isn't even just you can't make money from it. Like they completely blocked him. I don't know. I mean, the truth is you should legally be allowed to, as far as I know, and usually YouTube is supposed to let it through. I think a big part of
like if you're a critic, aren't you supposed to be able to use it if you're using fair use, if you're, looking at a show and critiquing it?
I mean, there's certain limits and everything, but I think, and I could be wrong, but I think part of the problem is that the AI is too strict and it's picking it up and it's not actually a person who's looking at it. Yeah. There's a good chance that if you send it through to get reviewed, they'd let it through. But like you said before, at that point of a live stream, there's kind of no point. I don't know. I've never actually tried. The only thing I've done is I have put up the trailers, but they were sent to me from MGM to post. So although fair, I have been sent clips by other networks told to post them and had them be blocked. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah, there's a content creator named Fire that was given the blessing from Showtime to use Yellow Jacket clips, and they did the same thing to her when she did a rewatch.
Jeez. Yeah. Well, it might depend, how much you use. I don't know. I thought a couple seconds was okay, but I mean, I don't know. I'm clearly not an expert and don't use enough to know. Here, I'll put the Discord link in here again that Martin's asking about. Yeah, Martin, we watched the episode beforehand again before we started this, but the live stream isn't streamed in Discord, no. But the chat's still in there. I had closed it for the watch party. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, you should be able to, but I mean, what they're actually allowing you to do is,
Hmm.
another thing.
Yeah.
But okay, so Kotri goes down to the basement and he's like, we need to
Yeah,
talk.
like he takes his time.
Yeah. And they make it very creepy.
Mhm.
I definitely think at this point, maybe you would kind of wonder. I don't remember if I was sus on him at the beginning.
Hmm.
I don't really remember if I was, to be honest. I probably was. I would think after watching that, I would have been some, but I honestly just don't remember how I felt about it.
Hmm.
But so we have okay. So
But and
Boyd is
also he uses a lot of rope on Sarah too.
he uses a lot of what?
A lot of rope.
Rope. Oh, rope.
Like
Yeah, the fact
a crazy amount of rope. She's a
yeah,
wee girl.
yeah, she is. He's got her tied quite down so she can't do anything.
Yeah.
Maybe he thinks the spirits or
Oh
whatever will
yeah.
force her to do something. Maybe he'll not be having an
He's
exorcism.
working on the side of the Exorcist. Like there
Yeah,
might be some kind of paranormal activity going on. Yeah, I see it.
yeah, maybe
Brother
that's
says I'm sorry.
yeah. And yeah, just me, you can post it without the clips or edit the clips out. The problem is once you post it, you gotta figure out how to take it out. I think
Hmm.
is the issue. And if it's a live stream, it's not gonna be up right away.
Yeah.
So people are just trying to figure out how to, what you're
Hmm.
allowed to do. I think that they should let you like tell you what you're allowed to do, like give you like a set
Hmm.
rules, and then people would maybe follow it. I
Yeah,
don't
that's the
know.
thing. They don't. Yeah,
Hmm.
they don't give you set rules at all. A lot of YouTube, like there are these unwritten rules that can get people's videos taken down using certain words. It's so crazy. Just tell us what the rules are and we'll follow them.
Then we'll
And
follow them. Exactly.
I was so upset about one of my live streams getting blocked because it was literally one of my it was like my favorite one I had ever done. It was so much fun. So I just had to trim out all the things that it trimmed out like an hour total of my live, which made no sense. It trimmed out way more than it should have when I let YouTube do it. So it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been maybe that it's like a combination too. Like you can use a couple seconds, but if you do it X amount of times, I
Yep.
don't know. It's kind of like, are you going to risk it or not? I guess it really depends if it's a live stream. If it's not a live stream, it's not as big of a deal. But if it's a live stream, you don't want it not to be up right away, which totally get.
Exactly,
All
because people watch replays usually the next day, maybe within the first couple days, and then they don't. So like that live stream replay needs to be there for people to watch.
right. Yeah. Well, at least you know now not to do it, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm very careful now, for sure. But I do take excessive pictures. I have like
Yeah.
a million pictures of the same thing.
Surprised some of the networks people get away with stuff though, but sometimes I wonder if it's just more it doesn't get picked up by the algorithm and nobody notices anything. I don't
MGM
know.
used to allow like so much people. It was like amazing. People could use long clips, no problem at all. But Apple TV, you show a few clips of one of their shows, a few seconds of a clip, and then they would
Yeah.
take it down. Now I guess MGM is cracking down too. So
Yeah, I don't know.
it's too
Some
bad.
of the recaps and stuff they still do even with Apple. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to get around it or if there's a specific rule. I just wish they'd come out and say this is what you're allowed to do, this is what you're not allowed to do. Because it's not like I mean, yes, people abused it, but not everybody's trying to abuse it. So yeah. Um, so sorry, I got sidetracked. So back to what I was saying. Boyd is basically trying to tell Kenny that he wants to go try to use the talisman and go out into the woods. And he says that Kenny said before about running out of room on the board. And so he, I guess, is like trying to even the playing field a bit. But again, we have that reference to a game, which we've said before. I think that the whole town, it's like the creatures are playing their own game, but also is there like two different groups? You can even just say, good versus evil, whatever. They're all kind of playing this chess game, trying to, figure out how to survive versus how to kill them if you're on the other side, I guess. So there is a lot of references to games in this show. I know we've said that before, but and if I say something, you guys, you can interrupt me. I'm just trying to read it and figure out what I was saying. But he says that they haven't pushed it before because they didn't actually know if the talisman would work outside of town, and they know it worked in the RV because they did it and they survived. So that's why he wants to go. And Kenny's sort of freaking out because he doesn't want him to leave. And he's like, there's no point anymore. And if you're going to die, then just go. Like, he just doesn't want to, I guess, lose Boyd after, I guess is the point.
He's lost so much, yeah. And Boyd's like a second dad to him. He doesn't want to lose both his dads.
Right. And he's kind of just like, why are you so adamant to leave? And so he doesn't want to hear anything about it. But of course, Boyd is trying to, in a way, explain to him that he's sick. I don't think he doesn't tell him yet at this point, but he was trying to tell him that, he's leaving because he doesn't know how long he has, and he wants to make sure the town is safe when he goes.
But he's such a dad, though. He's just like, don't you walk away from me.
I know, right? That was funny. He yelled at him for that.
He's like a kid. Treats Kenny like a kid.
Yeah, well, to him, he is a kid.
Yeah.
Let's see. David says, season 3 Randall needs a deep dive. I think he story walked or remembered what happened when he was chained to the wall before Julie threw the rope. That's why he kept telling her not to go back there. That's interesting. I've said before, I wish that they would show Randall actually going there, because I still think that whether he and Marielle have the same power of story walking, I don't know, but I definitely think they can do something, because otherwise he wouldn't have felt whatever it was when he went there.
Yeah, I think since the show has a theme of past, present, and future, I feel like maybe Julie's story walking into the past, and then there have been theories that Mari had a future vision of Smiley being out during the day. So maybe she deals with the future, and then maybe Randall will have something storytelling, but do it with the present.
Maybe. I definitely want to find out. Sorry, go ahead, Julie. I know you were trying to say something.
I think Randall feels that way because he senses that his own fate is going to be something really bad. Ultimately, I think he's going to be drawn back there, and he will go back, and it's going to result in something terrible. And he senses it, and that's why he said it feels wrong to be there. Either that, or maybe Julie shouldn't have thrown the rope, but I feel like that was supposed to happen. Like that needed to happen to keep the timeline correct, because she already was saved by Boyd after he threw her the rope. Then he saved her from the dungeon dream state, whatever, at the end of the season. So if she didn't throw him the rope, that loop wouldn't be complete. So I feel like that was meant to happen, but Randall is sensing something negative that's going to happen to him. I think it's season 4.
Yeah.
Turning into a giant cicada.
Boyd has to get out of there,
my hopes
too.
and my dreams.
But yeah, you're right. Boyd couldn't help her if he didn't get out. But we know Boyd gets out, so they have to. You're right. That's the way that closes the loop, and that's the way to stop it from being a bunch of bootstrap paradoxes. At least that's the hope. Infinite Umbra says, I think story walking is unique to Julie, but Randall and Marielle possibly have other abilities. Yeah, that's why we need to see that. David said, I think Randall didn't want Julie to see her father die. And Randall also told Jim to take Julie for a drive. Maybe he knew. Ooh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, because that was like not that long before all that went down. And he did. Yeah, maybe he's kind of like, you don't have a lot of time left. Go take her for. I hadn't really thought about that. That's interesting.
He also told Jim, after he said, you want my advice, take Julie, teach her to drive. And he said, none of us are getting out of this place alive. And then Jim said, I don't accept that. We know what happened to him. So yeah, it's interesting now looking back on what he said. I think that some of them will get out alive in the end, but it was kind of foreshadowing Jim wouldn't, or maybe Randall sensed it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to know. And I was just going to say an answer to Dieter. I don't know. Are you looking at the chat? They're saying they don't think you can see the chat. I think sometimes you do. But, whoops, sorry, I got to turn my volume down. But I don't know if you're watching it or not. But
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not in the chat at the moment because I'm like getting some food while I'm talking to you. But I'll be in the chat
but I
after.
was going to say, usually you can see it though. So, all right. I lost where I was at. Okay. So Jim's messing with the wires. Tabitha, oh, he's telling her that there's no wire inside the cord. And he shows her the odd, I'm assuming you got a picture of it, the odd hookup in there, and that there shouldn't be electricity coming through here. There, the weird looking plug. You know, this is one of the things that drove me nuts about this season for, you know, a long time. And one of the reasons I thought maybe before that it was in coming from like Victor's mind or whatever, and we can go back to, is it a maybe a kid's book, is it from Ethan, something. It definitely seems like the things in the town have been created by somebody who doesn't understand how certain things look.
Like they understand the aestheticism of it, but not the function.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to fix my volume, sorry. It's just, there's so many things. It's not just the electricity, it's a lot of different things that don't seem to function right. But this is where it was really brought to the surface and where they're finally starting to investigate it. And obviously right now he's the one doing it, but later Tabby breaks a hole in the wall. So yeah. So yes, Muncher Luncher, I see you. Telling me to shout out. I'm not sure what senpai is, but
I have no idea.
but I see you.
Yeah, I kind of miss this gym. This is a very active gym that I didn't see later on.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it's early in UK. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Yeah,
Okay.
he's working to solve things, and then after he hears, you know, what we found out later is the man in yellow telling him that they shouldn't be doing it, he stops, and maybe that's why he leaves him alone. I mean, who knows? Maybe if he had kept up at it, he would have tried to kill him back then. You know, we don't.
Yeah,
really,
maybe. But still, I miss him. Well, I mean, now he's dead, but I missed him before.
Yeah, no. What was I going to say? Oh, this is when Jade comes in. Let's see. I also noticed Jim is wearing a lot of neutral colors in this because I noticed we keep, you know, talking about the colors.
Me and Julie pointed out in our Wednesday live that Jade is wearing a blue and white shirt, and Tabby's also wearing a kind of light blue and white, and it does have stripes on it when it's close up, but it's just white stripes, so they almost are dressing in sync.
Same exact shade of blue too. The same shade of blue. It's like a little hint that these two are linked together. We just didn't know it yet.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought
about
that.
Yeah, and then Jim was wearing blue, and now he's not wearing blue anymore. He's like kind of passed the blue baton to them, and now he's wearing neutrals.
Yeah, I think he's wearing blue after this, but I mean, we haven't gotten that far in the rewatch. I'd have to look, but I just thought,
but not in this one at least. Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting because we're commenting how often he was wearing blue, and suddenly he's not wearing blue. So, ouch. So it's definitely interesting. So Jade comes in, and Tabby's like, "You're the asshole that almost killed us, or whatever, with the car." And you know, he never says anything nice. He's like, "I wasn't driving, and second of all, it was Toby who's dead now, so we should be even." Like, what kind of comment is that?
They said that Toby wasn't walking around with just a boo-boo on the leg.
Yeah, but that's I don't know. That was an odd thing to say. We're even because my friend died. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have the best social skills.
No, he definitely does not. But he's like, let's worry about, do you want to play house or do you want to go home? I have an idea. And at least Jim does at that point listen to him, at least for a while. But he's got his wires and stuff. Let's see. Go through their conversation. It's always hostile, but Jade makes it hostile, you know. All right, so Khatri is okay. So this is when Khatri's talking to Sarah again, and he tells her that there is no. I lost where I was at. Hold on. Oh, okay. That there's no. Sorry, I'm like, I don't know. I'm having a hard time not losing my place. He's talking about there being no Bible in the town. I find, and we talked about this last night in the chat. I know you guys weren't there, but it's kind of interesting that he's even saying this, because if anybody was going to bring a Bible to the town, I would think it would be the priest. I mean, I get his idea that there's all these other books, but there's no Bible, and it's the world's most popular book. But I don't know. I would think that a priest would have. I'm not a priest, so I don't know. But kind of surprised he didn't have one with him, and so I don't know. I just found that conversation a little weird because of that. But
I think it was probably, normally he probably would carry one with him, but maybe just because of timing of it, the night that he got there, he was so distraught. He had just actually like killed the father of that boy who was being abused, and then he was about to jump off a bridge. So yeah, maybe he left his Bible somewhere. Like in this episode, he actually left we find out he left his handwritten Bible at Tabitha, at what was Megan's family's house when he was there. So that's how I kind of explain it in my head. But yeah, it's weird that he didn't have one.
I had wondered if she had it for some reason, and I don't know why I was thinking that, but that actually makes more sense. He left it there when he was. But yeah, but this is where Khatri says basically, Nathan told me about the voices and that maybe you can still help the town. And she says yes, that she wants to help. Let's see. I keep wanting to jump ahead, but I know that there's not more in this scene because I had it written out. Because we got to get into the conversation about the 73 books yet, but that's a little bit
they
later.
drag out the Khatri.
There's a lot of Judy Blume books and a lot of Robert Loveland books.
And those are both murder mysteries, aren't they? I mean, Judy Blume is mystery.
Well, once the Born books.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they're like action books. Either way.
What did you say that was common with those books, Julie, on our live? I can't remember. About the Born books.
The Born books, it's about a man who forgot who he is. It's all about him trying to remember his identity and finding out he's actually a spy. So it's just interesting that they insert that into the show, like the author of that type of book. Someone who wakes up under mysterious circumstances and doesn't know who he is. It's not that uncommon. I mean, it's not that dissimilar to people finding themselves in this town and not knowing where they are. So it's interesting they included that.
Or the whole theme of remembering.
Remembering.
So crucial, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Julie, can you either you turn your mic down a little bit or Scarlet turn hers up a little bit? Because I'm like trying.
Julie's pretty loud compared to you. She could probably turn it down a little bit.
Yeah,
it's probably it's probably my phone. I'm actually on my phone right now. I'll switch to my laptop. My laptop was charging up, but I'll switch to that. My Chromebook got smashed this morning, so that's what I usually use. My Chromebook got destroyed. I'm gonna get.
I keep turning it up and down, and I'm getting like and then I can't hear anybody, and then I'm like trying to.
I'll switch to my laptop. I used that for one of my lives, and it was fine. So I'll be back.
And plus, I don't think I can go any louder. So there's that.
No, that's fine. It's just I'm also waking people up who are trying to sleep in the house. That's why I'm trying to. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm your leader teacher. Well, thank you.
Oh, okay.
That works for me. Let's see. Yeah, the Born Identity.
The sensei.
Yes. Oh, sensei. I was pronouncing wrong. I didn't know that was how you spelled sense. No, they said
no. That's senpai. It's a different name, but in the realm of sensei.
Yeah, I know what sensei is. That I have heard of. Where were we at? Okay, let's see.
Oh, that's right. It was the theme of identity. Yeah, like that. That's what we were talking about, Scarlet. I was trying to remember. Yeah, that's what makes so much sense with the Born books. With Robert Ludlum being referenced, because the theme of remembering your identity. Tabitha and Jade don't remember who they are. So yeah, I think that was deliberate.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to switch.
And I think the Judy Blume books were there just because everybody loves Judy Blume.
Yeah, maybe. And they would
recognize. She's a children's book author. We've got a theme of children's books in the show too. So
and that was kind of what I was originally saying too, is that it's just so many things in this episode about books and stories. And I mean, it takes us back obviously to the Story Walker, but even just the idea that it could be coming from a children's book or from a children's mind, or either way. And we've said before, maybe the town's coming from all different places. I don't know. But we find a lot of things that don't make sense, like the wires. So Julie's Julie's taking in the flowers. She finally talks about him and she's like, oh no, I found him like this. And she just kind of jokes about it. Let's go do the laundry. We said that a little
Oh,
earlier.
I'm sorry. That's where they held hands and like I thought they were gonna skip to the laundry line to hang up clothes. It was really weird.
That's funny. Whoop. Julie came back through again. Let me add you back. There we go.
This should be better. How is this, Jamie?
Yeah, that's a little better. Also, I found out that I can also turn it down I didn't know I could in StreamYard. So
Yeah, I use this my own live, so this should be much better.
Yeah, it's good. No, I'm just trying not to wake up everybody in the house, and I'm like turning it up and down, and I'm having trouble paying attention to what I'm doing too. Sorry. So they're getting wires from the cars, and I think it's funny. Jim's like, "Why did we come all the way out here for this?" Because he says they got to go back to town to get the rest, and he's like, "Because this is a top of the line Audi. Like I'm so sure that their wires are going to be any different, you know." That was kind of funny. An Audi Q5, he says, for science. But yeah, they're ripping the wires out. Somebody already took the battery out, though.
Yeah, I wonder who took the battery out.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe somebody else figured out what Jade did, like when he later on turns the blow dryer and stuff on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody figured it out before him. That is a good question, because they never do tell what happened to the battery. But they're ripping it apart. And let's see. They come in. Tabitha's dropping off the stuff from the Pratts. Ethan's wearing yellow once again. And Tian Chen takes him in the back. Monster took out the battery.
Oh, there is a mechanic monster.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna hook it up to electrocute people or something with it later.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You know, you do what you know when you're a monster, I guess. I mean, if those people are still the same professions.
Well, hey, they might be down in the caves. Maybe they need heat or something, so they're hooking up batteries. You never know, right?
Yeah.
So they're looking through this stuff, and Ethan starts saying that it's like the cavern of the lonely dragon. When the Cromanuncle, and I wrote this out, so we have it here. When the Cromanuncle was lost in the rainbow sky, and he found the cavern where he lived was full of stuff that no one wanted. But for the dragon, it was all treasure. And in one of the piles was a map of the rainbow sky. So the dragon gave it to the Cromanuncle, and he wasn't lost anymore. And that's when he says that maybe they'll find a map in there.
Yep.
Do you think
and moments later, she finds the bracelet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's more representative of the bracelet leading them places as opposed to like an actual map. But I don't know. Maybe eventually there could be a map. Maybe we'll find out, season 4, there's an actual map that just suddenly shows up and we'll be like, they foreshadowed that back then.
I think it was definitely meant to be a metaphor. This is the scene that convinced me that the storage room is representative of the cavern of the lonely dragon. Tabitha's one of the Cromanuckles. I think Jade is the other one. And she and Jade both in this episode find an item in this storage room that's kind of like a map to them. Tabitha finds a bracelet that was connected to her past life. So she's not lost anymore in that sense. It kind of sends her on her path, on her journey from that point. And Jade, we'll get to it, but he finds a book of symbols that one of his past lives owned, that one of his past selves. So they both found something that kind of sent them on their journey in this same room. So that's why I think it's definitely what Ethan is saying. They're literally, they're metaphorically in that cavern of the lonely dragon.
We skipped ahead a little bit because I was going to make a comment about Jade yelling science because I thought it was really funny at the end of the other scene.
When they were ripping the wires out, because science.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Breaking Bad when Jesse's like, science.
Oh, is that where?
Well, actually, it says science bitch because that was his calling card, but.
Oh, okay. And Martin's saying this is the idea where he first got the idea of the treasures being like Horcruxes. We were having this conversation last night that some of these things having, importance. Let's see. Muncher, what would you ladies do if all this ended up taking place in a cicada's cocoon? That would be insane.
I mean, the cicada cocoon is Randall.
taking a central role for the villains. They literally come out of Smiley's demons. Yeah, I would not be happy with that. But then again, I don't want any more bugs, period.
Smiley Stevens.
I know, I love that. Well, hey, he is a
Papa.
Steven now, right?
Yeah, Boyd's
I miss you,
grandson.
Papa.
Yeah, I would love for him to make some kind of Smiley to make some kind of comment or
Yeah,
remark
yeah.
later on in the
I hope
season.
they do that. That would be
I'm your
hilarious. And this show
grandbaby.
does have humor in it, so
Yeah, it does at times.
I
There's the
want to play
bracelet.
catch
Okay.
with you, Granddaddy. Get your baseball out.
Yeah, they could do a lot of fun things with that, I think. So
oh yeah.
this is a tree. Trees. I just wanted to say when we get to, because we got to this part, that there's so many trees in this show that have so much importance. Like, I don't know. It just makes me wonder if there's more to it than what we know about, just because they pop up so often.
Well,
I mean, I guess it makes sense they make it a tree that he climbs, but I'm just saying, like, technically it could have been something else. But basically,
well, I mean, there's basically something connected to the trees because of the far away trees, and trees are almost like used as communication.
right. I'm just saying that, like, even here, trees are important in another way.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
But you got to
literally
get up high. I guess it's the highest point that Jade found at this point.
Yeah. And why he didn't think a colony house back then is another question. But
no idea. Maybe because Trudy was there.
Yeah, maybe.
He didn't want to run into Trudy.
He's literally trying to use the tree to communicate, though, in this case.
Yeah.
But he basically got Jim just to help him climb the tree. He's like, I can't. I got vertigo. Because Jim's a little annoyed, which I don't blame Jim for being annoyed. And then he totally tells him off.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I made a multi-million-dollar company. You do safety tests on teacup rides. And Jim's like, okay, that's it. I'm going.
Yeah, I appreciate Jim right here. He's like, see ya.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm so bad at this. Yeah, I don't know. I would have left if I was Jim. But I also get Jade's point. He's kind of like, it's more about us going home, even if I'm being an asshole.
Yeah.
We want to go home. So he agrees to climb the tree, is the point. And okay, let's see. David says, which is true. Whoops, people used to think gods were trees.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
well, like the Druids.
Yeah, that's true. And also the tree of knowledge. And said earliest religions also had totems. Yeah, it's definitely a theme overall in the show. It says there are trees in the forest. I'm not sure if that was meant literal. I mean, I know that is a literal thing, but I'm not sure if it meant that literal or sarcastic.
Correct either.
I know. That's why I said I'm not sure if that was sarcastic or just a fact. But there we
are
go.
trees in the forest. Oh, here's the Troy ambulance.
Yeah. Did we ever find out that seemed to be something they just made up? Like for a count?
I have no idea because it looks like it's an acronym, but then I've read, well, I've seen videos where like one from I think it's Banshee. I can't remember her last name, but she does videos, and she said it might be linked to the Trojan horse.
Interesting.
Banshee breakdowns.
Okay.
And I never thought of the Trojan horse before, and I thought, yeah, that's actually a good reference.
It is, but I don't know that the ambulance is the ambulance though in any way used to as a Trojan horse though. I mean, maybe the other ambulance in a sense, just because they knew they were coming, and it ended up becoming an issue. But
depends what people they brought in it. It might have been somebody that caused harm to the town. But I don't know when that ambulance came.
Yeah, I don't know. Here, let me bring Julie back in here. Can you see it now? Okay, now we can't hear her. Hello. Okay.
But people have also made phrases out of the acronym. It could be Troy, Michigan, because Troy, Michigan is pretty close to Detroit. And there's a lot of stories of Detroit and Grand Rapids in this thing.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's just something simple, like somebody who worked on the set was named was Troy, so they used it.
Well, and everything's close to Hell, Michigan, too. So everybody's always like, they're in hell because they're close to Hell, Michigan. Like all these cities are close to Hell, Michigan.
Yeah, they're not in hell unless it's the town. Okay, there. Look, you can't really see it. Let me see what her next one is. Okay, her next one went too far. There's a drawing of what to me looks like a dragon right there.
Okay, let me see
I
it
just
here.
wanted to bring up because of the whole lonely dragon thing. It's
Where
hard
is it exactly?
right here.
Oh wow, okay.
Isn't that a dragon? It sure looks like it to me. It's like breathing fire.
Yeah, I mean, there was another one too that was in a shop with Christy where it was by a witch and a monster, and there was definitely another dragon. So it could be a dragon easily.
Yeah, well, it makes sense with the story.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's not getting her mic to work now. I don't know, but Julie, if you've got to go back to the other thing, you can. I can, if you can't get it to work, I can just turn the volume on the thing down. I didn't know I could do that. So
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I'm just having a weird issue with the chat, but it's fine. It's no big deal. I can just it's actually easier to use the laptop than the phone, so I'm good.
Okay. Okay. As long as you got it figured out, you know what you're doing.
My new
I was,
Chromebook will come in the mail in a couple days, and then I'll have a device that works better.
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Did they replace it or did you have to get a new one?
Oh, I had to get a new one, $400 for a replacement for that. It
You
went
need to
flying
get
off
a
my treadmill onto the
stand. You
floor.
need to get a stand and not put it on your treadmill. We don't
I
want this to
know.
happen again.
It was only a
Get like
matter
a
of time before it happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to get like a you know how I don't know if you could get one that's strong enough. I would think you could. But you know like a music stand that holds music, you can get ones that are made to hold iPads. I would think you could get one that could hold some like a laptop or something that's more made for that to stick in front of it like so it doesn't fall. You don't want it to fall.
Yeah, there's got to be a solution. I'm never gonna take that chance again after spending $400 on this. And I got it. I got it just last summer after I broke my last Chromebook the same way. How dumb am I? Oh my God.
Julie, don't break your Chromebooks. They look terrible.
The
Well,
enemy
at least you
Chromebook.
got a new one and you got it fixed. I was telling Scarlett, I think while you were out, did you notice the dragon picture here? See the dragon drawing?
Actually, I wasn't actually looking at the drawings. No, that's interesting. The dragon, and and that's interesting because in this episode, I think we're introduced to like Tian Shen as the lonely dragon. Metaphorically, it's her storage room at the diner, and I think it's the cavern. So that's really cool. If there's a dragon picture, I did not
Yeah,
notice that.
I seen that when I was watching it. I mean, I don't know. It might just be like a cute little, reference, but still.
Well,
All
it
right.
still might be more about kids, like the Fromville is made by kids' imaginations.
Yeah. Yeah,
Different
that's true too.
drawings of, like the drawing of the witch and the drawing of the monster and the drawing of the dragons.
Yeah, there's clearly a lot of kids' drawings in here too.
Yeah.
Boyd looks at the blood and he comes out and talks to Christy. And this is where Christy's like, she kind of, I mean, not in a nasty way. She kind of tells him off a little bit in a nice way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, oh shit, why didn't I think of that? I guess was kind of how I took it. That, she's like, Kenny doesn't want to let you down. And he's trying to do his best, but he doesn't need a sheriff. He needs a dad. And he just lost his dad.
Yeah.
And Boyd realizes he's like, oh crap, yeah, you're right. But this is where he makes the comment, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you're doomed to repeat them.
And we know that has meaning for Tabitha and Jade because every cycle they keep making mistakes and not completing their mission, so they get reincarnated again and again.
Yeah, which is why the boy in white is trying to change things too.
Yep.
It also says that later. All right, let's see. Now, this is where what I was talking about. Cautry says that people think the Bible is a fixed object, something written, completed. Now, that took me back to the whole, you can't change what's happened in the story. So whether that was in reference to that, I don't know, but it could be. But this is where he says, how can the story be finished when all the players remain on stage? We call it the good book, but it's actually 73 books. Okay, I gotta say, I don't quite understand part of this conversation because saying that how can the story be finished because the players are on stage? I mean, if he means it the way I think he means it, wouldn't that be true of like all life, not just life in the town? Like if you say, the story isn't finished being written, it seems like an odd thing to say unless it is actually referencing stories and has a deeper meaning. But I don't know. It just seems like a really odd thing to say to me.
Right. Yeah, you would think that it would apply to everyone in the world. You know, they're all part of some story in the Bible that's yet to be written.
Yeah.
When they said
Interesting.
73 books, which version of the Bible are they talking about? Because usually when I ask, like, I look up how many books are in the Bible, I get 66.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier in the chat.
Yeah.
Just me was asking the same thing. I looked it up. It's Catholicism says there's 73. I'm not Catholic either, so
Oh, okay. I mean,
so
it could
yeah.
go up to like 121 books when you get like all the books.
Yeah. Well,
It gets pretty crazy.
yeah. Well, he's talking about the 73 books, I guess, that Catholics say there are.
Yeah, okay.
And he says they're all filled with tales of miracle and wonder. And I know I thought of you, Scarlet, during this scene because when he's saying this, he gives her water, a drink of water. I'm like, it's in the water. It's in the water. Because he starts saying about this.
Have some healing LSD water, honey.
Yeah, yeah. And he starts saying
it'll
how
give you more visions.
Yeah, we'll give him to her. He gives her that to her. You don't know.
Yeah.
But he starts saying about that there's gruesome, horrible things in the Bible. And, this also makes me think about Elgin's conversation later whenever takes Fatima. Like he starts saying about the angels are terrifying or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It just made me think about that scene. Not that I think it's necessarily related to that, but it did make me think about that.
What in the scene exactly?
When he's saying that there's terrible, gruesome, horrible, no, he says gruesome, horrible things, and there's darkness in the Bible. And I just thought about how Elgin, when he's trying to defend what he did, he says about how the angels are terrifying and that, you have to have faith or whatever he says about the quote unquote angels that is actually the kimono woman.
Because they're supposed to have like 3 wings and 100 eyes and
yeah. So,
yeah.
I don't know. That made me think of that conversation. Like I said, I don't know that it's related to it, but it definitely made me think about it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of violence in the Bible too.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It made me think about what he was saying.
Yeah.
And maybe it's also to the idea of like corrupting innocence. Because, remember how Sarah says to Elgin that it takes the people that are innocent, or she says something to that effect, that it went after them, because she even says in the part of this conversation with Cautry says it waited for somebody that it could connect with or talk to or something like that. And so, yeah, I was thinking about how she told Elgin that it takes the innocence, that it, because they want to do good. So whatever it is, it's corrupting them and potentially assuming that this, whatever this is she's talking to is bad. I mean, we could go back and forth all day. Is it bad? Is it good? Is it trying to kill? And we don't know. Yeah.
Or how many there are.
Yeah, right. It's hard to tell. I was just going to say, David says, what I find interesting is that reincarnation was removed from the Bible, yet we see it in from. Yeah, it's true. Lazarus and all that. Oh, what was that?
Okay.
No, I thought I felt something on my toe. I think I just jerked, but it felt like something on my toe and it freaked me out.
The giant spider.
It better not be. Don't say that. Then I'll start thinking about it. No.
I was wondering, I could ask David, when exactly was reincarnation removed from the Bible, if he knows. I'm curious. Well, that's all I have to say.
No. If he tells us, we'll put it up. Let's see. So now we're to Ethan. Okay, we're past it. There's the water, the LSD water, as you said.
Well, it's a healing waters. It heals people up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it does seem to. Except Christy, which is a whole other issue that we haven't figured out yet. Oh, wait. I was going to say that's just
the water doesn't like Christy.
Yeah, maybe not. So Ethan asked.
Oh yeah, he also says in that scene that people are chosen, and then we have the contrast of Jade and Tabby being chosen.
Yeah, he said, "What if we are chosen?" And I think they are. Tabitha and Jade are like the chosen ones, quote unquote. But also, I think everyone kind of, watching the show kind of can pick up on the fact that certain people seem to have been chosen to be brought to the town for certain reasons. Like Sarah definitely was.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. Now I'm just reading what they're saying. We're having discussion. David's saying that the ruler of the Roman Empire, Justinian I, blatantly and brutally removed the teachings of reincarnation from the scriptures of Christian Orthodox doctrines.
Mm.
And Golden Child reminds him that John the Baptist was reincarnated, so maybe everything wasn't taken out. I don't know. That's the only thing. And Martin's like, oh, I got they were chosen. That's the important part.
Debate.
Yeah. I think that actually might be the next part, though. Whenever she starts drawing for him. I don't know. Let me get there. All right. So Ethan asks when his dad's coming home, and she's admiring the piece of the Lonely Dragon's treasure. And she says, let's go on adventure, have a treasure hunt. And she gives him.
Is that before? Okay.
What she gives him the screwdriver or gives him the screwdriver and takes the hammer.
Yeah, the screwdriver, all things. It's kind of interesting.
I don't know. It just made me laugh thinking of Doctor Who. So I don't know that I have an answer
Just
for that.
made me laugh thinking that Sarah uses one in Elgin's eye.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And Toby. She stabbed him with a screwdriver.
Toby.
Does anyone know Morse code? Because, when this light blinks in that scene, it made me think that it kind of looks like somebody's trying to tell them something in Morse code. And I kind of wondered, I don't know.
Maybe.
So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I just watched it recently, but I didn't have enough time to check that out.
I just wondered the way it did it, if they could be, there could be. And I'm not sure that if there is, it would matter. It just could be some kind of like little hidden thing. But also, if you notice this bird right here that I'm circling, this last bird, after she knocks the hole in the wall later, it's upside down. I don't know if that's relevant, but I noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I think the second one's a little bit askew as well from her pounding against the wall, I'm assuming.
Yeah, probably. But the one's completely upside down.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're going to punch a hole in the wall. I think some of them, I swear those pictures are the ones I just showed. I don't know. Screwdriver. There's your screwdriver. There's the hammer. We're going to move that. Okay. Sorry, I'm just catching up there. Okay. So back at the tree, that's where Jade is so not paying any attention to Jim. And Jim's like, can you move the rope? And he's just like, yep. And isn't even paying attention to what he's doing.
Yeah, the lackadaisical kind of thing. He's in his own groove and he doesn't care.
He's like, yeah, that was it. He's like, okay, good. But this is when he starts to see the blood dripping from the tree. And this is his second vision, because he had the one in the root cellar. So this isn't actually his first vision. Discussing that in the chat. That's why I was wondering. And he sees a symbol in the tree, which is what starts.
So do you think the people hanging the tree was from a prior massacre?
Yeah, and that was what I was gonna ask you guys about. Because this guy shoots. We assumed whoever Jade was reincarnated from, or assuming the person he shoots, the soldier,
or is he the soldier and he just doesn't like himself?
I would.
That's what I think.
Assume he's the one who was shot, but I guess that's up for debate. But
I mean, that could be either way, because then like maybe the soldier's chasing after him because he knows he's like not great, not a good guy.
Yeah, it could be. But I was going to say, I thought at first, I was thinking, this can't be creatures, obviously, because it's during the day that he's seeing this vision that it happened. So this is definitely, I would say, one of the massacres. I would agree with that statement.
Unless that guy isn't a creature and the people hanging in the tree were just the people that the creatures killed or were killed in some way.
That's possible too. But this guy is clearly human, or at least he looks human. See, just me saying,
he's on the edge. He could go either way. His face is all kind of burnt.
It's like scarred. It's hard to tell. Just me thinks that guy's Elgin. Yeah, we're having this conversation. That's why.
Yeah, he does have an Elgin-y vibe as well.
Kind of does, yeah. I don't know that I'm sure. I mean, I'm not sure yet if I think Elgin was reincarnated, though. So I don't know. But I guess it could be like his ancestor or something, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
I wish I knew more about that, because people always mention their grandparents and stuff, and I wish I had a little bit more backstory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when Becca mentions her grandmother, I wish I had more backstory on that. Does anybody who mentions their grandparents?
Yeah.
Well,
I think if they did have ancestors in the town, that would be an interesting way as a workaround to make it so they're still part of the cycle without being reincarnated. So I think that would definitely work
Like even all the red shirts,
Yeah.
they're all there for a purpose.
Yeah. I just want to say, because it's after the first hour, if you're still with us, thank you, number one. Number two, please take a minute to like the video and subscribe to the channel. You can check out all our other content elsewhere in the channel, and also check out scifivision.com for the interviews that aren't on video and everything else. And make sure you check out Julie's channel too, which is in the description. And if you haven't, please take a minute to, I keep losing the link, to join the Discord, which I will post the link once again for. We are going to, starting next week, from watch parties will be Sunday for right now, since our show's at 11, at 10, followed by the stream we're doing now at 11, because on Saturdays, we're going to have the watch party for Severance at 8, because the live stream for Severance will be at 9. And all those links and everything will be in the Discord. All righty. Now, where was I? Now I got to figure out where the heck I was. Oh, I know what I was saying. Jim, the one thing I was going to say is Jim is so much nicer in this to Jade than he should be. Because Jade really doesn't deserve it, you know? Hey, there, maybe it backfires and blows out his eye right there. It could.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
It was so hard trying to get screenshots of this because it happens really fast. It took me a lot of effort to get it so it wasn't too blurry.
It'd be interesting if he blew out his eye with that shot.
Yeah, I don't think he really did, but he does look blind in that eye. It looks white.
Yeah, they definitely both of them look different. There's somebody hanging in the tree that looks like that too.
Yeah, and his face is obviously all scarred. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
they
things.
Like the face.
Sorry, what?
I said the monsters and stuff like the face. They like the face. They like the throat.
Yeah, maybe
they like to get in there. Maybe
he was tortured, but they didn't kill him. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe he did it to himself. If it's during the massacre and things happen, we don't know. Look at that picture, Jay. That was funny.
Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah, he's like, whoa, whoa, and then he stabs him.
Yeah.
And he screams. And then Jim is there. And that's where I said Jim is like way nicer to him than he should be.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's like an angel. Look at that picture. Yeah, he's like an angel.
Yeah, maybe that was a reference.
Because he's dead now. But he's like an angel in that shot.
Yes, I said maybe that was a bit foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, because they never did any, like in any of Jade's other visions, they never had him like come out of it in a big flash of light. But oddly enough, they did it this time, and making Jim look like an angel up above him, all glowing and stuff. I think it was foreshadowing his death. I don't think that's a reach. You know?
Yeah, I think it was probably a coincidence, but you never know with this show. But
I think because they planned on killing him from the beginning. I definitely think because there's foreshadowing in the first couple episodes. I wouldn't be surprised if it was intentional, or it could just be a happy accident. Like John and Jeff say, there are just certain things where happy accidents and happen to fit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look at I didn't even notice though. Look at the down tree. I wonder if that's significant.
Oh, where's the down tree?
They're behind or beside Jim.
Mm.
I hadn't even noticed that till now.
Is this the same scene where there's a rainbow in the sky?
Yeah, there's a bright picture of Jim, and there's like a little rainbow next to him. If you go back a few, that's what Scarlet's talking about. It's right a few before this. That one,
yeah,
right
the rainbow
there.
Sky, the rainbow sky from the book.
Yeah.
And Ethan talks about the rainbow sky in this one, in this episode.
I was going to say it's interesting. But whoops. But anyway, Jim's like, "Are you okay?" And then he starts swearing at him. It's like, at least he tried.
Yeah, I'm glad he asked at least, because that would be communication, which is what Fromville needs.
Yeah, definitely. So this is where Sarah says that they've been waiting. They wanted help and have been a long time. They've been there a long time and waiting for someone to come who would hear them and who would help them escape, help them go home. And they said they were just like us. And he asked why she believed them. And she says they told her things they couldn't know. And they told her how 2 cars were coming and to stand out near the edge of town. And she would see it happening. And 2 cars came before in the same day and everyone died, which is what we were talking about the massacre, but we don't know what happened yet.
And
They
she
said it was,
said they died. Everyone died because of the people in the cars. So
yeah, said it was because
I
of the
think
people in the
that's
car.
I think that's a hint that it was Christopher and Miranda who were in those two cars the first time, and that in the last cycle. But Victor just doesn't remember because the way he talks about it, he makes it sound like he wasn't in there. He talks about when the
Right.
two cars came. But yeah, I
Do you
think it
think
was
they
that
were
because
the cause of the massacre, though, or do you mean just that they
I
were?
think they caused. I think it was kind of their fault because they weren't able to complete their mission, and ultimately it results in the massacre. I think that's what happens every time. If they fail, if they both fail, and then in every cycle everyone gets massacred. That's what I think. So it kind of was their fault in a way, even if they didn't do anything bad. Although I bet Christopher did something, 'cause Miranda had told her kids to hide from him, so he definitely did something. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we don't
interesting.
know.
I
Yeah,
wonder
I
what that
thought for the
was.
longest. I was gonna say I thought for the longest time that he was the one that killed the people. But then again, maybe if we say that maybe that soldier could have been Jade and maybe killed those people in the trees, that might make sense. If it's reincarnation, I don't know. I want them to tell what happened with the massacre. I hope they do. But anyway, she said that they said that it was because of the people in the cars, but if she did what they said, that they would be safe and they would get to go home. She didn't know how, but he asked if she thinks now that they were telling the truth, and she says no because they promised Nathan would be okay. And then she starts screaming. To be fair, though, Nathan was dead possibly because she didn't listen to the voices. So I'm not sure that necessarily means the voices lied, but you know.
Yeah, if anything, they said that, if anything, the voices were right because they said, if she doesn't kill the boy, then Nathan would die, and she didn't succeed in killing him, and then Nathan did die. So I
Yeah,
think they were actually telling the truth in that way.
yeah. That's why I'm saying that doesn't prove that they lied. Um,
No.
if he says if the voices are real, if there's something communicating with you, then you're connected to this place, to the place no one else here is, and that she's valuable, but they need proof, and he needs certain proof to prove with certainty that these voices are not simply a product of a troubled mind. And then she starts saying she needs paper because they want her to show him something. I'm not sure. I was just wanting to go back to the chat a second because it was about something we were saying. But Martin said knowledge comes with the cost. Maybe this is Maniel trying to get back the revision because he can't harm him for real because it would change the story. I assume he means the guy attacking Jade, maybe. So I'm confused by that. Unless he just means he can't kill Jade for real. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of down trees. There was a lot of down trees. I hadn't noticed them until I was going through the pictures.
Well, it is a forest.
Yeah, well, that's true too. There might be. Okay, Golden
If you
Chat
walk
says
through
maybe
any
they're
forest.
referring to a version when Sarah killed Ethan and her brother lived. That's interesting. Yeah, if it's like a parallel reality where it worked out. Maybe they saw the future or some version of the future. Who knows? We don't really know. And then we get back to, did they really see it? Or is it possible maybe we were having a conversation again about the crows. Could the crows have told them and all that kind of thing? Let's see. After this is back to Jim again before they finish this conversation. Oh. That's going on for a while.
It's so dark. You think they could have had a little bit more lighting.
Yeah, I know.
It looks gruesome. Like something out of Saw or something, like dirty basement and everything. All the lighting makes it just look sinister.
Yeah. They're messing with the radio still. I kind of was thinking, and I don't know that this is accurate, but the theory that like it's a snow globe or something to that effect makes me think maybe it only works when they go up high enough because they're like closer to whatever's looking at them.
Oh, you mean like the drawing the snow globe?
Yeah.
That has that like little pocket of air or whatever at the top, or the weird little pocket.
Yeah, maybe that's the area they can communicate. And I don't know that that's the case. I just was thinking about it as I was watching this.
I was
All
so
right.
hopeful when I first watched this that they would get contact with somebody on the outside.
Yeah, I really thought they would too. Oh, he's trying. Okay, so Jade is drawing this symbol over and over again, and Tien Chen comes over. Why does he have a knife out? It looks like he was carving something.
I don't know why he has a knife out.
I didn't even notice
Hello.
that. It's weird.
Hello. No, but there's little pieces of something like he was carving something. I don't know.
God, everybody's doodling, everybody's carving in this episode.
Yeah, I know, right?
Kenny,
So then Jen comes over with her tea, and this is where she like gets him to drink it, which was funny because she says something to him in Cantonese, and then he's like, I don't want tea, and then he's like, it's good.
Yeah, I don't want your tea. Yeah.
He listens to Tien Chen, which I love, but he
Yeah.
likes the tea. And she gets him to understand she has something for him. She brings him back into the storage room. And he's very polite to her. He's like, here, I'll help you get this down.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's another radio. I don't know if that was important. I thought it was kind of funny that he found another radio as he was doing that. But
is that a radio? I thought it was a tape player.
It looked like a radio.
I thought it was like a little jam box or something. Because everything in there is like from the 70s, because they have a yearbook from 1972, so that could be like a tape player.
It could be.
I mean, they have a lot of 8-tracks in there too. It could be one of those combo cassette player 8-tracks.
Yeah. I'm also curious why there's like an Erlenmeyer flask there. Like, was there a scientist or something?
I don't know. There's a whole lot of things, and there's a lot of fishing gear and a lot of like their snowshoes.
Yeah.
So they might have had a winter before.
Yeah, maybe. That's a good point.
And fishing tackle and fishing baskets. I think they might have like got some fishermen, like they did with Donna as a hunter. They kind of brought some fishermen in to the town at one point.
Yeah, maybe. I'm looking too. They have all those board games. You think with a kid in town they would bring them out?
Yeah, they have one of the Game of Life.
They have the Game of Life, which seems apropos, but also Hungry Hippo. So much sure what that's about.
Well,
if they suddenly find like a killer hippo, I think it came from that.
Oh no, that'd be cool.
I'm calling that ahead of time. If we see,
they go to like a Tears and there's a giant hippo in there.
Yeah, then it came from the game. If that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Now he's back with Sarah again, and this is where she starts drawing. Now, this scene I had written down I wanted to talk about. This scene reminds me a whole lot of in different shows when they have about remote viewing. And it made me wonder if it's possible that she's like just some kind of conduit and like has a psychic. It's more like about she has this psychic connection with whatever this thing is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but that's totally what that scene made me think of. I've seen that in different shows. They get them to draw something, and
do remote viewing. Yeah.
I'm
just trying to think if she does it any other time. I don't think she does this one time, right?
Yeah, I don't think she does that again later. But it was just the way they filmed it totally made me think of that.
Yeah, there's like so many pieces of paper.
Yeah, she drew a lot.
When we were doing our last live, it was just like, no, that's not right. Do it again. Draw it again.
Yeah, I'm not sure why she kept drawing it, but she tells them that they watched him bury a bag, and this is proof that they're real. And she asks if he knows what it means, and she gives him the drawing of the, I don't know, whatever it is, guy in a flying saucer that's from the chocolate bar thing.
They're out of this world.
Yeah. So Boyd is looking for something, which you find out is a ball and glove to take to Kenny, because I guess he thinks that he can make things better by telling him to play a baseball game with him.
I thought you were going to say he thinks Kenny is 5 years old.
That too. Yeah, but I'm not sure why he thought that them playing baseball would fix the problem, but
I gotta be Kenny's dad. I gotta go to that little buddy with my baseball and play some catch.
Yeah.
Well, Bob.
I don't know. I'm reading what David said. I think maybe you will understand this. I don't. It says, I'm thinking Christopher was talking to Victor and not the boy in white or Jasper. These entities might be like Yellow Jackets. There is no entity. It's always just themselves and only exist in the ether. I'm assuming that he means from the show Yellow Jackets, but I don't know. Maybe, okay. That's
yeah,
what
because there's always that debate in Yellow Jackets if it's supernatural or it's science.
Yeah.
So it could be the same thing. It could be the science. I mean, it's or like the wilderness being a concept.
Yeah, but yeah, that I don't think this is what he means, but it does make me think. No, I mean that. Yes, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying something else that I take from this, which I'm saying this I don't think David means. But he says he was talking to Victor. What if this is like one of those things where like he knew Victor would see this vision or this memory, and like he was talking to him in the future? I don't know. That just made me think of that. I don't think
which memory.
Like whenever he means whenever Victor thought that he was talking to Jasper and he was talking to the boy in white. And I was just thinking, and I don't think that this is the case, but I've seen in shows where like they somehow knew that they'd be viewing the memory. So like maybe the message was actually for Victor. And I'm not sure that that's what he meant, but that's what it's making me think of. Like, what if he knew that Victor would see that in the future and that he actually needed Victor to find that out? I don't know. That's an idea. Martin says the only reason we don't think it snowed before is because that's what Victor says. But how are we supposed to believe Victor now after Jasper thing and Miranda could have been before Victor?
Yeah, but what year did Victor get here? Was it 1972? Was 40. It like when did he get there? I mean, there's been no evidence of when he got there.
I think at some point they said over 40 years, but I think that's just how long he's been gone, according to his father. So I don't know.
So, I mean, if he was only there since, like, let's throw out a number, 1972, how did they know that's the only time it snowed unless there's some, nobody left any evidence or somebody made a picture of snow than they did, but, there's no reason to know unless they were, before that cycle or knew somebody before that cycle.
No, you're right. I don't know if he was there that long or that was somebody else's yearbook. I don't know.
No, I thought maybe it was related to the school.
Oh, yeah.
They have like the cheerleader monster, and they say her outfit's from the 70s. That maybe some of those people from that could explain why she has that outfit if the monsters picked their own clothes.
That's true. The
some
clinic
people got sucked up from 1972. She's like, "Oh, right, I love that outfit, that cheerleader outfit. Gotta rock that."
Yeah, but you're right. The clinic is a high school.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm confused by this comment from Martin. Miranda was there. She got out, but went back with the kids. Unless he just means she could have gotten out. I guess it's possible. I mean, if the cycle repeats, it's definitely possible, but I don't know that they were implying that.
I don't know. I thought Miranda left one kid and the other kid got out, and then she got Smiley.
Right. But I think originally when she went to the
Can I use that as a verb now? Smiley.
Smiley.
Yeah,
like there are certain words now we use as verbs like angkui. Like we don't want to get angkuied again, meaning we don't want to go too deep down rabbit holes because you might get angkuied and find out that guess what? It doesn't really mean anything. They just pick that word for the hell of it and it means remember. So yeah, we could use that word smiley as a verb too.
I like that.
Yeah, you got smileyed.
Yeah.
I like that. What I was saying I think he means though maybe like she left the town and came back before that, but excuse me, they never said anything about that, but I mean if things repeat, I guess it's possible that the same thing happened.
You mean or does that person mean Miranda before, like the Miranda before Miranda?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
A prior to having Miranda.
Yeah, I assume she means it. Yeah, I mean, assume he means that. But yeah, that's why I was just saying, though, we know that Tabitha, hold on, I'll explain. That's what's the next thing. I just said that, like, it's possible if they are repeating cycles, though, that maybe she got out as well. I don't know. But I don't know that that's what he meant. He'll explain. What Sarah David says, what Sarah tells Kotrick highlights that the monsters know everything about them, their lives before coming to From, and what they're doing in From. It definitely, means that they saw him bury that, but that's where we got into the discussion. I said, is it possible, like, that the crows are watching and telling them things about when they get to town?
Yeah, but I don't think the monsters know everything about him. I think she's getting like some kind of voices from like the dead or something instead of the monsters.
Yeah.
Because she told Nathan, you know, they want me to make these murders look like the monsters did them. So I feel like there are other entities.
Oh, that's a good point. You're right. That wording makes you think that.
Yeah.
At any rate, whatever they are, they don't seem to be good.
Yeah.
What they're doing.
I don't know necessarily.
I mean, if Ethan becomes the man in yellow, that part could maybe not be evil, but telling her to kill the other people, like Kenny's father, that part isn't a good thing. I mean, I couldn't see any way that could be considered a nice thing. So I don't know.
Well, I guess when she was talking to Christy, she was like, you know, if there's a whole lot of good for that one bad thing, it's worth it.
Yeah, true. Golden Child says Boyd obviously was a fan of the movie Field of Dreams.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, was Willie McCoy in there? Willie McCovey? I had to look him up because I didn't know who he was. I don't follow sports.
No, I don't either. I mean, I assume it's a baseball player, but that's all I know.
He was a first baseman. I think Boyd says that he was almost drafted to be a first baseman, and he's a famous first baseman.
I see. That makes sense then.
And I feel bad about that because doing stuff in baseball, you'd have to use your hands a lot, and he has Parkinson's, and it's like a bummer.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant to look up, and I never did. Is it genetic, or could it be genetic? Because he makes this point of saying like it's really rare for it to be genetic, and Kenny says, you know, that you don't really know what it is. And it made me kind of wonder, is it possible either A, that he's wrong and it's not that, or B, that he manifested it because he's saying it's that. And like he gave it to himself, because we talk about manifesting things. I don't know, just an idea.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't know if there's any reference to it when he's, you know, in the car with Abby and Ellis, and you know, when they're giving the keys to the boat and everything. I don't know if there's any reference to that at all, like in the real world.
Yeah, I don't think it's referenced until he tells Christy. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It may be. I mean, the whole town is just, when people think bad things are going to happen, they kind of happen. You know, like because Ellis and Fatima later on are like, oh, we're scared this baby's going to be evil. And then it turned out to be evil. So maybe Boyd's like, I'm really worried about getting Parkinson's, even though it's rare. Oh, I suddenly got Parkinson's, even though it's rare.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
You know, like all their fears, like Nathan with the cicadas. He feared cicadas more than anything, and then the cicadas came to town.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. It just made me wonder, because he made a point of saying how rare it was. Like, what otherwise would he say that? I don't know. David is clarifying that he just meant he thinks the boy in white wasn't there, and that Christopher was talking to Victor directly, and that Victor remembered it that way.
Okay. Yeah. It could happen. Victor is a very unreliable narrator. So
yeah, and you know, that actually kind of maybe would make sense, but then how would Victor know all those things he was telling him? But then again, maybe that's why he wasn't listening and he was saying no, because Victor was telling him.
Yeah.
And then he says, because for me, the boy in white is the self. He's in the place of Victor in Victor's delusion. That's possible. Are you saying then, David, that you don't think there is a boy in white at all? Or just in that instance? And
I don't know, because the boy in white appears to other people too. Do you mean that, like, when other people see the boy in white, it's also themselves?
Yeah.
Is there a boy in white? Or is it just a mirror reflection of
these
who sees him?
Existential questions, right?
Oh no, existential crisis. Yeah.
Yeah. Julie's still there. Julie, you're quiet. I don't want to be ignored.
I have no idea.
You get to talk.
You're on, Julie.
I'm here. I've just been eating in between, but
no,
I
fine.
interject in between bites.
That's fine. Just say something if you want to jump in. Let me know.
I will.
Okay, Dieter's reminding us that Martin wants to know where he knows Julie from. He said her name before. He asked her to throw the rope down. I still think that we're going to find in the future that she visits there again, but that's just my personal theory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was joking that this is like the Martin, like where do you know Julie from? Because Martin in the show.
Okay. Yeah, and your name's
Yeah.
Julie. Got it. And he says, I want to uncooey in that rabbit hole. Well, that's our new verb.
Scarlett, did I cut you off? Were you going to say something?
Oh, me?
Yeah, I thought I cut you off. Did I
Oh, I
cut
was
you
just
off?
gonna say the standard, like, what was I gonna say about Martin, how he acted like towards Julie one way and then acted towards Boyd in a more dramatic fashion.
Yeah. Maybe he was the version of them they needed to hear to do what he wanted.
Maybe he's also the boy in white.
Maybe he's
but then it's themselves. But then it's
maybe he's
themselves.
also Fatima. We don't know. Just Me is excited to see how Julie knows Martin. She also thinks it's because of story walking, which I see. So does Dieter. And then back to what Martin was saying before. I meant it snowed before, but Victor was there. Even Victor could know Julie before, because why would he ask her what she thinks it means about the two cars in episode 1 or 2? I do think it's possible he knows Julie from story walking too. I agree with that.
Because me and Julian, our lives have talked about the evidence of him being like really comfortable around her in a way that he's not comfortable with other people.
Yeah.
Like right off. Right from
no,
the
yeah, I agreed. Like I said before, I think before to you guys, the only thing I could say is maybe it's because she's younger and he seems to have an easier time talking to children rather than adults. But it does seem like he's awful familiar with her. I would agree with that statement. So it's possible. Just Me says Sarah killing Toby was unnecessary since the monsters came in, unless they were trying to break Sarah down by actually killing someone. Yeah, and I don't know why it was important to make it look like they did, unless, like you pointed out, Scarlet, maybe it wasn't the monsters that told her that. We don't really know.
Yeah. Well, plus they wanted Toby's tongue too. They have like a tongue thing. They kind of have a modus operandi about the face and the tongue.
Yeah, they like to torture and like to do a lot of stuff. Let's see. David says, if you represent everyone as a circle with a dot, the boy be the circumference and everything within, so he's everyone. Just so that we don't start saying everyone's the boy in white. And I know that's not what he means, but I'm just saying.
Boy white is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. Oh, and he says the dot's the man in yellow. That's interesting.
To draw this out.
Yeah. So Martin says season 4 is gonna be Julie going to the past, and I can't wait. Yeah, I hope we see more of it. I just hope they don't overuse it. That's my only concern with that, is that they don't overuse it.
But just like a bunch of ventures.
on what?
Like how so? Like just having her have just a bunch of adventures and.
Yeah, we don't want it to become that. I lost. Okay, this is where Kenny is talking to Boyd, and Boyd's telling him he thought he was going to pitch, but life got in the way because it happens.
Oh, this is the one where Willie McCovey is mentioned. McCovey.
Wait, what? I feel like I can't hear tonight. I don't know why. You're saying things and they're not making sense. Say that again.
He was talking about being Willie McCovey, which is a famous first base player.
The name of the baseball player. Okay.
Yeah.
That's because I'm like, what? Sorry.
That's fine.
He was saying he played back in college. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, and that's what I was saying about him saying that it could be anything. How does he know it's that it actually is Parkinson's? That was what I was trying to figure out. What my notes says that was what it was.
I was gonna say it's got to take Kenny a really long time to carve out those chess pieces, but I guess they have a lot of time.
Yeah, they have quite a lot of time to do. It's
just got one little blade.
Like a heart. That doesn't look like a chess piece.
It does kind of look like a heart.
I wonder if that's intentional. I hadn't seen that. I mean, I guess it could be a partially carved out piece, but it looks like, because it looks like maybe this is a head, and that's, I don't know. It does look like
It's Kenny's little heart, his poor heart that's broken.
Yeah, and now Boyd's gonna leave, and he's not happy.
Yeah.
He's like, "We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this." So they're gonna go play baseball.
Yeah.
And then Jim comes in. He's putting the stuff down, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Because there's a big hole in the wall. Ethan's carrying a bucket of dirt, which was funny.
Of course he is, because he comes in Man in Yellow.
Yeah, but that's how.
He's
yeah,
so
that's
clean,
true.
and now he's so dirty.
Yes, he's getting dirtier as time goes on. But he says his mother, that's how his mother told him to help go take the dirt outside, which is funny. But
But that's in my avatar, the bucket of dirt, and I found a yellow bucket, so that was even more fun.
That's funny. You can't, I was trying to say you can't see it there. The bird's head is pointing the other way, but
yeah, the other one's kind of there's one that's kind of askew as well from like banging on the wall.
Yeah, it's probably just because she moved him. I just noticed it. So
yeah.
So he comes down. This is where she's saying the electricity doesn't make sense. It goes straight down. There's no power lines. Now we noticed there's no power lines before. I mean, we've said that before, but she's saying how it goes down. And then she tells him about the bracelet that she found.
Now, do you think, before we start on the bracelet, do you think where do you think electricity comes from? Anybody in the chat too? Where do you think the electricity comes from? Because if it goes straight down to where the monsters are fueling the electricity in the town?
See, I don't know. That's where I always thought that maybe it was the town was created from somebody's mind, because it, like I said before, it seems like just the surface, like how a child would understand electricity works. Because I'm sure if you ask a little kid how electricity works, they know it. You plug something in, but they don't understand where it goes after that. Could also be the same thing as a dream or storybook. I mean, dreams don't make sense. They're only surface. So yeah, it's from dreams, like Dieter saying from Totally Teflon. Whoops, I clicked the wrong thing. Like from dreams, like
dream powered electricity.
Yeah, and Infinite Umbra agrees with me. And as long as it's not that they're in a dream, you know, the town can come from dreams. That's fine. Martin says, absolutely. We'll see all the past characters like Martin, Victor, Miranda, Christopher. Hey, maybe she has to go undercover and she'll dress as she did in the in the storage.
She has to go undercover in the 80s.
That would be interesting, though. But I don't think she's going to go back that far. But that would be kind of interesting if she did. It'd be funny.
She runs into Harold as a fame dancer in the 80s.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I agree with the way Tony Teflon explains it. I think it could be that the things that don't make sense, like the wires that lead nowhere, could be manifested from dreams or nightmares. It doesn't mean that everyone is asleep, but it could be kind of like a pocket dimension nightmare realm where things are manifested from dreams. So that I like that. I really like that theory. I'm kind of leaning into that theory myself.
So where did the blinking lights come from? Why are those manifesting?
I think that's some entity trying to communicate, like Jamie suggested, with maybe the Morse code or something.
That's why I want to know somebody who knows Morse code. Figure out what it says, if anything. I don't know. That was the first thing I thought when I rewatched it today. I was thinking that. Okay, Infinite Umbra is saying it feels more like a child. Likely Ethan dreamt it up. So yeah, they're agreeing. Martin says if things reappear like the worms and the cicadas, then maybe it's the same thing with the electricity.
How so?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I mean by reappearing, I'm not sure what reappearing is.
Right.
It seems like they always have electricity.
And maybe unless he means it's the cycle, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Specify. Golden Child says, I think the electricity radio are powered by them being trapped in Man in Yellow's domain. Yeah, it could just be he's controlling them, but David says it depends if they're in a pocket dimension or in an ether realm. I assume that's ether. Hey, AA, welcome. That's what he says. That's why it makes sense. It's all in an ethereal plane. Could that also saying that isn't that connected to with I can't think of the right word for it. Not dream walking, because I don't mean in here, but like astral projection. Yeah.
Yeah.
If that is sort of what, because I still wonder if that's kind of what Julie's doing.
Well, she could do that, except usually I don't think in astral projection you can interact with things like the rope.
Yeah, maybe not.
I could be wrong.
I don't know. It's just that's what that made me think of originally when we saw it.
Yeah.
And Martin says that he's meaning that it's there but not there. Okay, I guess meaning I think he means, and I could be wrong. You can tell me if I'm wrong or not. But I think he means like that the electricity's there, but it's not. There's not really anything there to power it. It just is there.
Oh, it just exists. It doesn't come out of anything.
Yeah, just like how the worms, like they can't actually see them. Like they just know they're there. I would take it that's what he means. If I'm wrong, he can tell me. But that's how I'm taking it. If not, you'll have to explain it again. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, okay, so the bracelet. Now, unless you guys have more about the electricity, I didn't mean to cut you off if we have more. Okay.
I think we covered it up.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you guys, because this is the part I still don't understand. She talks about that she knows it's the exact same bracelet because when she used his father's shoelace or whatever, that she screwed it up and that he told her accidents are the best part and it makes it one of a kind. And I also wonder if those lines are important because that sounds important. Accidents are the best part. But that's how she knows it's the same bracelet. I do not understand if she is recreating these bracelets as her incarnation or whatever, why she is recreating the same mistake unless it's simply for the reason so she recognizes it. I don't understand that. Like why it would be the exact same bracelet. Like it would be the same bracelet, but the exact same one. I just don't get.
Yeah, I mean, Jim does make a point of saying that they're just standard bootlaces that are, like they're on any type of boot that's like that. But she points out that there's an imperfection that's there that makes it unique. So it is hard to explain. She just happens to make the same mistake over and over again. I mean, and the weird thing is too, it's Jim's father's boots, and she had different. Obviously, like Jim wasn't reincarnated; she had different husbands in every cycle. But yeah, I guess him pointing out that they're standard laces indicates that okay, she could have gotten those from anywhere in every cycle. But maybe unconsciously she keeps making the same mistake in it every single time. Maybe so she'll recognize it, like you said. I don't know. It's confusing.
Maybe. Is it possible that that's maybe referencing the reincarnation, like saying it's the same person over and over again, and it was more point to that?
Yeah, and also it does kind of reflect the way, as a reincarnated person, she's making the same mistakes over and over again in every cycle, so she keeps being
And that's
brought
why they
back
haven't
there.
saved the children, so it's maybe more metaphorical. That actually
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. I hadn't thought
that
about it
makes
that way.
sense.
Yeah.
I just feel like
Yeah.
they should have, I don't know, explained it a bit better than we're having today.
It's too bad the younger Tabby that's in Cannibal Village doesn't have a little bracelet that she made when she was like a kid, like the prime Tabby.
Yeah, that would be
We
interesting.
learn the story of the very, very first bracelet.
Yeah. Yeah, Golden Child says maybe her subconscious keeps making the same mistake on purpose. Yeah, maybe. And Dieter's saying kind of the same thing, that maybe it's for the reincarnation and for the showrunners to make it clear to the audience. Hello, Trace. Angela. Dieter says you're right. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I would say it's got to be something in reference to the reincarnation, but because otherwise it doesn't make tons of sense. I sometimes wonder though, like I think the average viewer does not do what we do for this show, so I sometimes wonder, like, does it make sense to them though? Like we're pulling it apart to figure it out. I wonder, the average viewer, are they so confused?
Or do they just take it as a show about the characters and don't really care about the bigger picture?
Don't really care. Yeah, that's the question. Or does the show make average viewers feel like David makes me feel bad? I'm just teasing. And David's saying bracelets remind me of Blade Runner and Inception. I'm trying to think Inception.
I don't know. What are the bracelets in Blade Runner? Or is it Blade Runner the latest Blade Runner movie? Or the original one?
I don't know.
And
I'm assuming
it
he
was
just
a
means.
top, but I
Yeah,
remember the top
I'm
was
assuming he
in
just means the idea of it, but I'm not sure.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Oh, he says Deckard dreams about a unicorn, and the final
Okay.
scene he finds an
All right.
origami unicorn on the floor outside the apartment. So it's
I
more
get
like
you.
reference it. Okay, that makes sense.
I get you.
That one I understand.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying. Though.
All right. So let's see.
It's only in that certain cut, though. There's so many cuts of Blade Runner.
That's true. That's very true.
So ridiculous.
Yeah. So this is more about the bracelet and about the electricity. I don't know. I just that electricity thing is what drove me nuts for so long, and I would love to get a better answer to that. And that's why I was so happy she kept. And obviously, maybe she wasn't supposed to keep digging, but I was happy she kept digging.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, were you going to say something, Julie?
Yeah, the digging about the digging stuff. I something clicked for me when I rewatched this. She at the beginning of this episode when he mentioned that the wires don't go anywhere, she really wasn't interested at all. She wasn't like fascinated by it. She wasn't, planning on, investigating it at all until she finds that bracelet and it kind of like triggers something in her, sets her on her journey, and all of a sudden she feels this compelling urge to figure out where the wires go. She's digging in the basement, and it kind of represents her going down the rabbit hole, like Scarlet has said before. And it's all because she found that bracelet, which represents her map of the rainbow sky. It's setting her on her journey. She's, and if you think about it, all of this starts when she digs that hole, winds up down there, sees the Ankui kid. It all leads to where she's going in season 2 and season 3. It starts right here. So, and she's digging like a maniac. He actually has to ask her to stop. He's like, "Can you just stop for a minute?" It's this compelling urge to do this, triggered by that bracelet.
Yeah,
Curious, sir, and curious, sir.
Yeah. Though, what I was thinking as you were saying that, though, there's also the idea that she wasn't doing it until he sort of pushed her, because she wasn't interested until he started talking about it. So it just makes me think about the idea that maybe the whole thing was his fault. And that's why the man in yellow, because after him, he got her in a way. In a way, he introduced her to the idea that made her dig,
Or maybe
knowledge comes at a cost. That's a great point, Jamie. Yeah. He started it.
Yeah, because I don't
out
think
the
he would have
wires.
even thought about it without him. I still don't know, though.
Yeah.
My big thing, though, is once they figure out they can connect appliances to it, I'm surprised nobody's like trying to get to not that they can call anybody on their cell phone likely, but like nobody's even tried plugging their cell phone in. That'd be the first thing I'd be doing. I'm like, I'm going to go get some music or play a game or look at my photos. I'd be like plugging a cell phone into it. Sorry.
Me too. At least once they figure out how to rig up the lamps, because like anything that you bring in from outside doesn't work. That's what they said. Like, so they wouldn't be able to plug it into the outlets. The lamps work because they were already there. However, at the end of the season, they figure out that they can rig the lamps to make the radio work, so they could easily charge their phones up and at least use stuff that doesn't require data or Wi-Fi. I would.
Yeah,
but I guess they don't have the screen time to show
look
it.
at my pictures even and stuff.
Yeah, but you think that, but you don't think that the blinking light maybe triggered something in that Tabitha?
It could.
Whoever was communicating with her, maybe even the man in yellow.
Maybe on a subconscious level. Yeah,
which would be crazy if Ethan was a man in yellow and he was communicating to his mom through the light.
Right?
And it's like, why is the light going off?
Yeah, and he just totally knows why.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I just, that's one of those things I really wish that they dig more into.
I see what he did.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Now here's Cautry going outside digging for his bag.
Everybody's digging holes. He's digging holes like Tabby.
Digging that they shouldn't be. But no, I just, every time we look at this, it makes me think of the red rocks that are in, as you call it, Cannibal Village.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious if they're supposed to have some relation to those rocks.
Seems like every town gets one. If there's an old Fromville and a new Fromville,
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they just painted them red. Who knows?
with the blood of their enemies.
Yeah.
Or children. Take your pick.
Yeah. I don't know. They're so I don't know. Like they look like they hold meaning, like they're ceremonial rocks or something, you know.
Well, a lot of rock circles, Stonehenge, and
Yeah,
the like, are for spiritual purposes.
Yeah, definitely. So he pulls out his bag. He's got some kind of alcohol. I don't know if that's rum or what that is. But he pulls it out, pulls out his bloody shirt. And I think they probably put a collar on it so you know it's his shirt. Because at first maybe he thought like he killed somebody or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then a really, really old candy bar that's probably rancid.
Mm-hmm. Cosmic chocolate. They're out of this world. So
Cosmic
aliens. Point for alien.
Yep.
Team alien.
Yeah, it could
Yeah.
be. But yeah, that's what he finds. So it's proving that she was right with what she took. What she said, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That they were telling the truth. I mean, at least about that, telling the truth anyway.
Yeah. Or they're real.
Or that they're
figment of her imagination.
Right. It's proving that it was really voices she heard, because there's no way she would have known. Because I don't even think she was there when Kotri got there. So they are playing catch, and his hands start shaking, and that's where he finally accepts that like Boyd's gonna go, and he's ready for him to go, because he says he won't go if he's not ready. And he says no, he'll make a bat for them to use once he gets back. So again, could that be maybe he's okay because he manifested, because he said he was going to be okay? Who knows?
He said he'd make a bat?
Yeah, he said he'd carve a bat.
Oh, okay.
For when
so
he
we're
got
going to have a real Field of Dreams coming pretty soon.
Yeah,
well, he never does, though. There's too much going on.
Very true. So nighttime, Colony House. This idiot, which I have nothing else to say other than this idiot, because I don't know what else to say.
So we haven't seen this guy before, right?
I don't think
so.
It's just here.
Like in the background. I don't think so. So he's walking upstairs. He goes over to the window and he sees Jasmine. That's her name, right? Jasmine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the one. He's been leaving the flowers for her. And she's like, they're beautiful. And she's like, when can I come in and see you? And that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hoping, you idiot, he's not going to do it. You're an idiot. But you kind of know at this point, it's like Chekhov's gun. He's totally going to open the window. So
I want to know how the relationship started. I want to know what their meet cute was.
Yeah, right.
And when it was, because it's kind of complicated.
Yeah.
Was he outside and he saw her and he's like, oh my God, what a beautiful monster.
Yeah, I assume he saw her through the window, but he shouldn't have been watching through the window anyway. But this is
she's
where
like,
people
hey. Yeah, sorry, she's like, hey.
Yeah, something like that. But this is where people got into a big theory battle about when she says, I never wanted to be this way or whatever, which I don't know that means anything, but yeah. So, but that's
just wanted to be a normal girl in love with a normal boy. And then she took his tongue out.
And then she took right. She did his tongue out. That's a good point. How would how would their first meeting have been? Yeah. Well, thanks, Martin. I'm glad you're listening. Although I think we're kind of probably nearing the end at this point. He's at work. Yeah, I don't know. I agree. I would like to see that, but either way, the guy's an idiot. That's my main comment, is that the guy's an idiot.
Or it's weird that there's so many people at Colony House, but nobody noticed this, especially with the little bouquets of flowers and stuff. Nobody was like, this is weird.
Noticed it because Julie told her and she just didn't think anything of it.
She's like, ooh, we have a phantom florist. Nothing wrong can come of this. Grab my hand and let's skip to the clothesline, Julie.
Yeah, forget about this guy.
Good times.
And all of us saw it. No. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is where I think all the windows should be nailed shut, whether they have kids or not, because apparently the adults are stupider than half the kids.
Yeah,
Because
I think that's why I picked the town over Colony House, because I don't want to be with like horny guys that want to open the door for monsters, or the windows, or the door.
or the door, anything for monsters.
Yeah.
You know, there's also the idea, and I don't know, people have commented that they're on the second floor at this point. I just
Mhm.
always assumed there was like a deck or something, and I never really thought anything of it. But
Yeah, the houses have like a little ledge, like a little top part to where the door is that she could be on. She could climb up there.
it's kind of what I wonder. But it's the same thing with like the Pratt's house. Did the old lady like float up? We don't know.
Well, she could have climbed up there too, or she could have floated up. I mean, we're not really shown that. It isn't like there's a scene where a monster climbs up the side of a building, or I mean, they're both Dracula things. They're both vampiric, like climbing up
Yeah.
the side of the wall or the floating up.
Yeah, or floating up.
Yeah.
Dieter says, Scarlet, you would open the door if Monster Jade was outside the window.
I would,
maybe
too.
I debated for a while. Maybe.
Yeah, I debated
maybe. I don't know.
Especially season 1, Jade. Oh yeah, yeah. I would. I
How
couldn't
many
resist.
buttons does he have unbuttoned on his shirt? That might make me decide.
It is funny though that like I don't know. I guess they're supposed to be convincing, but you would think that like any normal human being, in my opinion, that if they even started talking to you, you would shut the curtain and not listen to them before they could convince you of something. And also, I feel like if and this is just me, even if I was like, it was all adults there, I would still want to nail the window shut just so they can't do something like that and people can't be convinced. But I don't know. I guess it's,
that's why I always thought that maybe the monsters are kind of mesmerizing.
Yeah. But that's why my point is like they should have had it locked, but
yeah,
I don't know. I get it.
She's just so hot, he can't help himself. I mean, Jasmine's real popular, with male viewers, so.
Yeah.
I think she's creepy as hell, though. They did something to her face, I think, to make her look creepy. They definitely did something. They made some kind of alteration, like with the makeup. I don't know if they used any kind of special digital effect, but yeah, she's beautiful, but somehow very creepy at the same time.
Yeah. Who knows though? Maybe she just the way she did it, like as an actress, the way she changed her face. I don't know. Have to.
Yeah, I don't know.
The person. Kelly
Too bad
says
they didn't bring her back.
Yeah,
I
I know
wish they
people
would've brought her
question. It would have been kind of cool. Kelly says it's like they have a little bit of a glamour like vampires. That's definitely possible. There are a lot of things that make me think of vampires with these creatures. There's a lot of things.
I mean, it's a lot.
The drinking blood, at least Smiley drinks the blood anyway. There's a lot of references. But
and when people get like mad at like Lauren for not like running right after her daughter and scooping her up, they could be mesmerizing her just by eye contact or just brain to brain.
Which is kind of my point. Like I would have the doors or the windows nailed shut, even if
you have nailed down a wooden board over it.
Then if a jade monster shows up, you're safe.
Really thick velvet curtains.
Yeah.
Blackout shades.
Martin says, Julie, did you hear about my Ethan going through all the faraway trees that Miranda installed and drags him out? Excuse me, on the road. Is that how it ends then, maybe?
Ethan going through, yeah, I don't know.
That would be funny though.
Yeah, right. I mean, I could imagine him being set through a faraway tree because the actor is getting so big that they could do that and kind of use time travel to explain why he looks so much older. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I could see that happening too. I have to wonder though, like on that map that Victor has, which people have theorized, it seems like some of those arrows maybe go to where are shown where the faraway trees connect to. Like, because it looks like one points to the pole and stuff. I have to wonder if that is the case, that like Victor wouldn't say to people, don't go through them because they don't all turn out well.
So I think it'd be interesting if Miranda had gotten grants to put faraway trees all over the U.S. and then you could travel from one city to another using those trees in the real world.
Yeah, that would be cool. Martin said
If
he
you were a
meant
certain
Ethan as the
type,
man
if
in
you were
yellow.
a story walker or whatever.
Yeah, then she could go outside the town.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Martin said that he meant Ethan as the man in yellow. In that, what he was
Oh,
saying
that's scenario.
about pulling them through the
Oh.
faraway trees and going through all the.
Oh yeah, like I get what he's saying. Yeah,
Oh, and
maybe
puts them
like
there so they get stuck in the town. Yeah, that's funny.
right.
That does kind of make sense, though.
So he got them stuck there. Yeah, I like that theory. That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we have passed hour 2, everybody. If you're still with us, thank you for hanging in and for listening. And please, before you leave, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, as well as to Julie B. Deep Dives channel, which is also in the description. We'd both appreciate it. And if you haven't, join the Discord. Like I said, next Saturday, we'll have the watch party for Severance at 8. Our live stream will be at 9. And then on Sunday, we'll have the watch party at 10. Again, before the live stream at 11, like we did tonight, but we won't be having it on Saturday because of Severance. And of course, we have our show on Tuesday. But, well, what else? Is there anything else to go over before we... Oh, Julie went away a second. Is there anything... not to derail, but the first 4 episodes of Severance have been leaked. Oh, that stinks. A lot of people
Oh,
are
they've
going to
been
be mad.
leaked already?
I didn't know that.
Huh.
That stinks. I don't know. I'm going to write my review up yet, but that... Yeah,
Did you get a screener?
for Severance, yeah. Yeah.
All the episodes or the first 4?
All of them. But I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
Doing that probably tomorrow. But yeah.
Yeah, it really sucks when they leak them like that because it isn't the initial leaking. It's people coming on the chats and stuff and saying some big leak. You know?
Yeah. We should say that, which we didn't say, which we should make sure that we do make a point of saying that. If you put in the comments or something in the chat and you start posting things, like, it's fine you're telling us about the leak, but I'm saying if people start posting like the actual leaks, we will ban you. So please don't do that. We're not going to do that. Yeah, it's his city. Well, he's saying he saw a spoil-free review. Maybe then, are you sure there's a leak, or are you saying somebody saw it because of the review? Because yes, the episodes have been released to the press, but I'm not sure that necessarily means they've been leaked. So I'm not sure if he actually saw a leak or he just means he thought that because it was reviewed. I'm not sure which he means. You'll have to tell us. But yes, they've been.
Yeah, because I've seen reviews there. They just say their opinion of it. They don't.
Yeah,
leak
which is what mine will be when I post it. I didn't get them till late, so otherwise I would have had my review up already. But
yeah.
Okay, he found leaked episodes too. All right, so people look out for that. Don't try to be careful if you are looking at Severance stuff, so you don't accidentally get spoiled.
Wait, you gotta be kidding me. What happened? The episodes got leaked of Severance? Like,
apparently,
seriously?
I've seen him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna look for him. I don't want to know. We just
God.
don't want anybody to find him. So yeah.
I don't want another repeat of the kind of stuff that happened with From season 3 with spoilers all over the internet, ruining it for people. I managed to avoid most of them, but that, no, not again.
We did have a few people come into our chat and talk about Fatima killing Tilly, and we kind of blew it off as a joke, but then it was really what happened. It's like
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but yeah, hopefully we won't run into him. I mean, hopefully the thing that I think was the worst, there's always going to be people spoiling things. That happens. The problem that's the worst is that they were putting spoilers in public places where people didn't want to be spoiled. That to me is the worst part. Like, it's bad enough if you're giving away spoilers, and you shouldn't be. But like, some people like that, and I know there's spoiled channels, and there's always going to be that thing. But to purposely spoil people who don't want to know, I think it's just mean. It ruins it for people.
Yeah, or going to somebody's Discord and just
randomly posting them.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yes, anybody who's listening, please don't do that.
Yeah.
If you found them and you want to watch them on your own,
Yeah.
But we don't need to know about it. Don't post.
I mean, you can put rules in your chat that people have to hear by, that have to accept before they're even in the chat.
Yeah, I'm not sure how
Yeah.
you do that, but yeah, I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we start seeing them in comments or something, we'll make sure that as long as we see
Mhm.
them, we will try
Yeah, that's the
to block
problem. You
them.
have to kind of have mods that are on it, right away. Or
Yeah.
just tell people not to look. I've
Yeah.
done that sometimes. Don't look.
Yeah, but no, that kind of thing. I mean, it's happened before. It's not. I mean, I'm sure it's going to happen again. I
Hmm.
remember when I got some of Lost spoiled for me back when it was on, but I mean, it wasn't. I don't know that people actually like uploaded episodes or something. But then again, I wasn't looking for it, so I don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happens. I don't know. They've been so careful with them. I'm not sure. I mean, Apple didn't, I don't think, released them quite the same way that MGM did. And I know at least the final four have been a lot, they're not been released the same way. So, but I
Hmm.
don't know. But anyway, I will, once I finish watching them, put up a spoil free review of my opinion without
Hmm.
telling what happens
Yeah. Yeah.
about it, because I do not want to spoil it for anybody. But yeah, we'll be, like I said, watch party is Saturday and be doing that. And then you guys have your watch party. You're doing a watch party at midnight on that's
Yes.
Thursday night, right? Is it Thursday or Friday night?
Yes.
The night it's
Thursday
released.
night. Thursday night at midnight when the episode drops. We'll
Yeah.
do a watch party in my Discord.
Yeah, but I figure people will want to watch it again, so we'll just. It's not like you can't watch these lots of times to get lots out of it. So
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
watch it in Julie's, then come over on Saturday and watch it ours, and by then you'll know what's going on a lot and have
And not
good
everybody
idea.
wants to watch at midnight either. Not everyone stays up that
Yeah,
late.
yeah, and you also got to see if you can even. We're hoping you can get it to work. Fingers crossed, right? That we can get it to stream.
Yeah,
Um,
we're also gonna cover some stuff tomorrow at 10 p.m. about Severance.
So you're doing part of your rewatch stream tomorrow.
Not
Is it?
really a
Yeah, we
rewatch. We're gonna do the preview, the 8-minute preview, and the trailer, and then the Lexington letter.
Okay, cool.
yeah,
All
we're
right.
gonna
All
discuss
the
that stuff.
extras. The extras.
Okay. Well, then for that, head over to Julie's channel and you can watch our the deep dive on Sci-Fi Vision on Saturday and your deep dive on Monday, and people will get lots of Severance stuff. But yeah,
Probably also a lot of from in there as well.
yeah, a lot of from too. Lots of from. There's always lots of from. And Dieter says, according to a countdown timer, it's in 4 days. And what? God, I'm really behind putting that up. That makes me feel so bad, but I didn't get it till way later, or I would have put it up sooner.
Where's the countdown timer?
That I
Yeah.
don't know.
They have it on Apple TV.
Maybe, or maybe they just put in the date.
Talk about hyping it up.
Please tell me it's a clock that
Counting
looks
down.
it looks like a waffle and it's counting down.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to discuss it at any rate. And need you guys when we do ours on Saturday to definitely be in the chat, because I know Karen, I'm still trying to get Karen into really liking it, because so far she's not as into it as I am. So we need to drag her down into it. Get her obsessed.
That's always a
with it.
bummer. Yeah. Like
yeah.
I've introduced it to some people and like they have to kind of stick with it to the end of the season and then sometimes it clicks and then they get into it. Like
Mhm.
there was one person I introduced it to who wasn't that into it in the beginning, but by the end they were sold. So
Yeah.
it might take a little time. Maybe it might be an acquired taste for some people.
Maybe, but you also have to like the mystery part of it the most, I think, for this show. Like, I don't think her favorite part of From is the mystery like me. So to me, that's why I like it so much. So.
I don't know. My favorite part of it is the absurdity and the comedy of it, the satire.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. It's definitely a bizarre show. Yeah, we'll keep going, Martin. Watch the rest of them, and then you'll be all ready for this weekend.
Yeah, and you won't have to wait. You won't have to wait for a resolution to the crazy cliffhanger at the end of season 1. So lucky you.
Yeah,
Like it's the wild one.
Yeah, I can't believe it was 3 years. I'm curious if they're planning, because I haven't looked, and since I haven't finished it yet, I don't even know. Is there going to be a season 3, or do they not know? Do you know?
I haven't heard anything yet. If they, um, well, we'll probably find out later if it's going to be renewed or not. So I was amazed that in the middle of the season with Silo airing, they already renewed it for not only one more season, but two more seasons. And that's the kind of thing we need for From and Severance because once again, they have such deep, complex mysteries. And if they got renewed for two seasons at once instead of one, especially with a mystery box show like From, I think it would really help them to be able to
Would.
plan it properly and know when to reveal what.
It
If you
would.
think about it, it's when someone writes a mystery book, they have complete control over how it's going to end, how long it's going to be. But when you have a show, you're at the mercy of whatever network or streaming service greenlight. So you don't know how many seasons you're going to get, and it's harder to plan. So really, I
Mhm.
wish they would have just said, "Here, From, you're going to get two more
Yeah.
seasons. Severance,
I was
two
gonna
more
say,
seasons at
especially
once."
like I think From and
Yeah,
Severance, because they're original ideas, it isn't like Silo where it's a book series and they can kind of guess how many seasons that's gonna take and support that.
yeah, yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, I like original ideas better. I wish
I
there
do
was more of
too.
those.
Yeah. Hey Doc. Yeah, they are. It looks like just from a quick Google that some of the writers and creators and stuff are talking about a possible season 3. So I guess they at least
Mm.
want a season 3 at any rate. Now, whether they'll get it or not is a whole other thing. But
Have
I
you
think
have you
they
have
got
you
such good
listened?
reviews.
Have you listened to the Ben Stiller Adam Scott podcast?
No, I have not.
You
I didn't know
should.
they
It's
had.
great.
Is it like a whole podcast, or you mean just like a one done thing?
No, it's for each episode.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll have to.
They bring a couple of the actors. They bring the creator and like a producer on one of them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'll have to look for that. That sounds like fun.
yeah. It's a lot of really interesting stories and a lot of really interesting observations and things.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Um, yeah, I wish they'd do that for From, but we've said that before. We wish they would.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at that. The lack of merch, the lack of advertising.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's MGM, but maybe
Yeah,
it'll be
that's
a
true.
little better next season. We'll have to see. But yeah, Julie's obsessed with the mysteries. Yeah, I like not knowing what the fuck is going on too.
Right?
That's
Yeah,
what makes it
that's
good.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
I
what
will tell
hooked
you,
me in.
yeah, and I will say, like, I'm partway done. I'm ready for episode 8, and I will say I am just as confused now as I was before. So that's all I will say. Enjoying it, but confused. This is nothing new. This show is always confusing. But
Oh yeah.
yeah. Well, do we have anything else? It seems like we've kind of slowed down. I know we haven't been going as long lately, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's because the first few that we did in the rewatch, we were talking still so much about the finale. I think like we kind of interjected things, and now
Yeah.
we're talking specifically about the episode. And it seems like there's a lot of other watch parties and stuff, so not as many people are joining. I'm hoping
Right. Yeah.
with the Severance stuff, we'll get more people because it's a new show. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe
Yeah. Like
some people can only take so much from.
I mean, I've noticed, a steady kind of decline week by week in the number of views for our lives. It goes down, more and more. There are certain diehards that will keep coming back, but like the first rewatch live we did still had a lot of views, almost as many as like one of the new lives, and then it started going down. So it's only natural because it is a rewatch, and it's the show isn't currently airing new episodes. But I think with like new episodes of a show coming out, I think there'll be more interest, like Severance. That's why we've been trying to recruit more people to watch it too. Like,
Yeah,
and we've gotten some new people to watch it so
yeah,
far.
yeah, definitely. And that's why I want to start some of the non-live videos. I just need to get my butt in gear and actually do it instead of saying I'm going to do it. But I have time this time, so maybe I will.
How's the process of your videos going, Julie?
Not bad. I had to revise the Man in Yellow video and so I added some stuff to it. I'm gonna put that back up.
Mhm.
I'm almost done with my boy in white video. Put that up, and it's a process. I don't know why. I think I just burned myself out with season 3 of From, and I
Yeah.
needed some time. But
Mhm.
um, and now I have to
I
edit
didn't know
the
I didn't know
interview with
that people.
Doug Hughes
I,
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Finish with the Doug Hughes thing.
I was just gonna say, like, my interview with Doug Hughes was so long that I have to break it in 2 parts,
Oh,
or
really?
people might not watch the whole thing because it's an hour and 41 minutes or something
Oh, wow.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
That is a
so
long.
I have to break it into 2 parts. Yeah, so I'm working on that too. He was extremely generous with his time. Really, really nice of him to do that. And yeah. Anyway, but what were you gonna say, Scarlett?
Oh, I was just gonna say that I didn't think people were gonna jump into From rewatches so fast. I thought it would be the thing where there'd be a natural process. It would kind of even out. People would watch Silo, they would watch Severance, they would watch Yellow Jackets, and then maybe when Yellow Jackets was over, everybody kind of settle in and go, "Ooh, we should do a From rewatch."
Mhm.
But then everybody just jumped back into it. I was like, "Okay, here we go."
Yeah. Yeah, we weren't ready to quit this show. I thought we were gonna have a break too, but
Mhm.
yeah, it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's been fun though. But it'll be nice to see some new stuff and cover
Mhm.
some new stuff. And I think I was asking David. I haven't seen him tweet it yet, but I think the video for the I was just going to say for the Squawking Dead that I did last week, the From about the finale. I think it's out now. I'll be having to post the link for that as well. If people want to watch it, because it's more finale discussion. Some of it's a little different. But yeah, Dieter's saying he'd watched a long interview. I'm sure lots of people watch it even if it's long.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, they might. They might. Doug thinks that it should probably be broken in half, and I want to do what he'd be most happy with, and
Yeah.
especially because toward the end of the interview, like the whole last section of it, it's focusing a lot on his plays that he's written himself, and one of them would really appeal to fans of From. So I want to make sure people really watch to the end and actually hear all of that, so I can help him promote that
Mhm.
play. It's just so fitting. Like the theme of it is so fitting for fans of From, and I want to encourage people to go online and buy it. So I think I will divide it in half so that people are more likely to hear that part
Mhm.
of the interview and promote this play of his that deserves attention. It's not easy for playwrights to get their productions into, their plays into
Mhm. Yeah.
production.
Yeah.
They have to really, even if they've had like a great career doing it, still a struggle.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. All right. Well, I guess unless anybody has anything else, we're kind of winding down. Um, Thank you everybody for listening, and join us again next Sunday, and just keep watching both our Discords for lots of updates. And yeah, and I guess the next thing will be, at least on for my channel, will be Tuesday for Silo episode 9 and of season 2, and What If, and I think that's it. There might be something else, but anyway, that's Tuesday. But as always, go to my social media and you'll be able to see updates for that. I never put up any of my banners today. Oh well, but there's the
And
link.
there you go. There it is.
There
I
it is.
didn't
There
do
it
that
is.
one time either until the end.
I always forget, but yeah, I
I do
post all
too.
the updates for everything on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, if you are looking to find out when something is. But yeah, but hopefully we'll see all you soon, and hopefully I'll see you on Discord. And I know Julie will have a lot of stuff posted on her Discord too, so it's all good. All right, guys. Well, have a good night. Thanks
Have a
everybody for
good
coming
night.
and for listening to
Yeah.
us as well. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, Jamie.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Don't get smileyed out there, everyone. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
don't get smiley.
Locked out.
Our new verb. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.